All right, everybody, welcome back to another rendition of Talk About It with T-Easy. Today's guest, we got a special one today, somebody I've been able to have some deep conversations with in the past off camera, so I figured why not get him in here and do it for real. That's Ben Tate. So, like I said, I've kind of seen Ben grow as a leader. Ben and I have a lot in common. Not even just thought process, but just kind of how we see things. Yes, Ben, I'm sure he'll tell you blessed with whatever challenges he's been through. And if you're not sure who Ben is, he's been a large part of the U-Pike football team in the community for too long now. I can't believe he's still here. Working on his second degree now. He's about done. So everybody, please welcome Ben Tate. Ben, how you doing, brother?
I'm good, bro. How are you, man?
Good, man. Hanging in there. I'm surviving.
Already.
Coming off
That's all we can do at the end of
no,
the
for
day.
sure, for sure. I was just in Hershey, Pennsylvania for 4 days. Got
Yeah.
4 days, 14 hours. It was great. It was a good time.
Ooh, Hershey Pen. Boy, I ain't never heard of that. What that's like? What you was down there for?
We do a conference down there every year for like campus groups or campus activities. I mean,
Bet, bet,
but
bet. It's
Hershey,
lit.
Pennsylvania. That's where like Hershey chocolate was founded.
Oh, bet. Okay, I
Yeah.
ain't, but I ain't do no, I ain't know that. But I love Hershey's though. You know how that go. But I love Hershey's.
But no,
I ain't never know the backstory
it's
of
a
it
cool
though.
little spot for real. They got like people ask what's down there, and it's just Hershey. Like it's kind of like Pikeville where you drive in and it's like the city, and then you hit the highway again. It's very similar to that layout. But they got like a hockey arena, and then they got
Hmm.
the amusement park that Hershey has, and then like the Hershey Lodge they call it, which is like right next to the factory and the museum, and then that's it. Then you're gone.
He he said he said we real in and out for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
What you
yeah.
did down there? I mean, I know you was working and stuff, but what all you did down there?
Honestly, it's just like so. Basically, any like music act, any comedian, anything like that.
Hmm.
It's a conference for them to like showcase, like show what they would do if they came to campus. So you take student leaders down there, and then everybody kind of gets a feel for like, is this somebody we should bring to campus or not? Um,
Oh, that's where Adam and them get all the. That's where y'all get the little people that y'all bring
yeah,
in
yeah,
from.
yeah. A lot of them. I wouldn't say all of them, but like a lot of the connections come from APCA. And they have
Okay,
so like
that
APCA is
makes
like a
sense.
separate organization. They do national and regional, but like NASPA is like the, I guess, a big brother to that. So it's like bigger D1 schools will be there. So APCA, Cumberland's, um, UVA Wise, they're like in our
Uh-huh,
zone, like our region. So Kentucky, Virginia, West Virginia.
uh-huh.
But like there was there's a D1 school in our region, and he's basically telling us that he got all this money he got to spend, so he trying to find stuff to spend it on. But
Oh,
it's
okay.
very
Lucky
interesting.
lucky him.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, granted too, like outside of that, like you probably kind of got it like that. Like a lot of school, so like the freedom that we have to like book on. So you basically it's a setup like you either you're interested and you like set up like, hey, I'm interested, but I don't have any dates, or you can confirm a booking. So like out of the region, there's not many people that can confirm bookings on site, and we can. So like Cumberland's
Okay,
has to go through their anything they want to bring, they have to put in an AI for, and then it goes through their president, and they have to like approve it.
but they're a little bit stricter over there. So I mean, I guess that's probably why they
Well,
process it
it's like
so
levels. So
long.
like for them, where it's like yeah, we're a religious institution, but like not to the level
Mhm.
Cumberland's is. So like they
Yeah.
have to make sure that it checks out, like that it's a clean act. And then the guy who's D1, he's got all this money to spend, so he's really focusing on like buying all the stuff to make his own events, like popcorn machines
Hmm.
and bubble makers and all that stuff. But his thing is different. So like if it's anything involving students, like if students get to interact, the insurance has to be crazy because it's a D1 school.
Yeah,
But it's a like
that
I'm not
makes
a
sense. Nah.
the higher education side is not for me. Like I definitely like the leadership side, like being able to talk to people. So like it's cool
Hmm.
to this is my fifth year, and it'll be the last year I go as an advisor. But it was cool. It's just
Yeah,
cool to make
bro.
those connections and be able to chop it up with people.
Yeah, you finna make that change though, big career move, you know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? You
well,
going
the
up and
first
stuff,
5 minutes
so
of me being there, I ended up talking to somebody, just kind of like somebody I know. Like we was chopping it up,
mhm.
and I tell him like my transit, like I'm about to transition to doing like the other side of things, like doing the presenting side.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh yeah, like what do you do?" So I tell him about Easy Brother. He's like, "I really
Mhm.
like that." He's like, "I got a rehab facility in Tennessee, and it's all men." He was like, "I'd love to have you out there to speak." This is the first 5 minutes of walking in the door. So I'm like, "Yeah, man, give me your contact."
Already.
Yeah. And then I got my first college booking at UC for the fall.
Oh, for sure. Hey, well, congrats on that, bro.
Appreciate
I'm
it.
telling you,
Appreciate it.
but you knew it wasn't gonna take long though, bro. You got that figured out, bro. It's just you just getting out
Right.
there,
I mean,
but
it's
you
just
already got a big step.
we're sticking to a plan, bro. Like, I mean, you know
Mhm.
more than anybody. You can. I don't like using the word dreams because I feel like dreams means something you don't really have to act on. You just like it's something you wake up one day and it's a thing, and that's not really how anything works. That's not how the real world works. So for
For real.
me, instead of dreams, I use goals. Like I know that I
100.
can achieve it, but it's just gonna take work to get there.
Nah, that's real. Hey, that's solid though, because like a lot of people, like you said, a lot of people always say, "Oh, I got dreams of doing this," but like aspirations and goals and all that stuff, that's valid actually. So I ain't gonna lie, I'm actually finna steal that from you
Yeah.
because that's my first time. You know what I'm saying? It's my first time hearing that. You know, as far as like the verbiage and stuff, but like getting the understanding behind it, that make perfect sense, bro. So I'm actually finna take that. So
No,
I
for sure.
appreciate
Use it.
the little gym.
Yeah. No. But ultimately though, that's the same for everything. And granted, I think when you say dreams, like at any point in time in your life, like something could change where you don't have the
Mhm.
same plans. You know what I mean? Like you find a sense of
Yeah,
purpose that you didn't think was gonna be a thing. So like for me, I planned on being a billionaire. Like, and people was like, why? Because I didn't have money growing up. Like, I want to make sure my people's taken care of. I will say, as a father, that's changed. Like we kind of talked about this at 99 the other day, but like now it's
yeah,
not. I don't need billions. I just need to make sure my family's comfortable so I can give back to people who need it. So
that's
a
real.
lot
Yeah,
of
we did.
goals
We
in
had a
that,
long conversation about
right?
that.
A lot of goals go off of that, and like the sense of like I want to build out. I'm building this platform out so that my boys that want to stream can stream through me having some type of following, and then like the Easy Brother
Mhm.
stuff, I can build into like more leadership based things and help young men grow, and then develop that into like helping veterans and helping people with like mental health issues and I got a roadmap, bro, and a lot of people's minds would just be mush. Like I talked to this dude at APCA, bro, and he was like, what's your goals? Like I know this is your last year as at APCA." And I was like, "Yeah." So I tell him, and he's like, "Oh, okay. So like, what's your plan?" So I tell him everything I do on a day to day, and he's like, "How?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" And he was like, "How do you manage? Like, do you not like go home and like cry under the covers?" I was like, "I ain't got time for that shit."
Nah, nah, we ain't really got time to
Yeah.
bitch and moan, but we already got enough people that's out there doing that. So
Yeah,
we got to get to work.
I was like, bro, it's busy. Like I like to stay busy because I feel like if I'm not doing something, then I'm useless. So from the time I
Mhm.
wake up to the time I go to sleep, it's something's cooking.
Yeah, nah, you definitely on go. I done seen that firsthand. I'm talking about
What?
from I done seen it from being an employee for you to you know what I'm saying, just being your homeboy, bro. Like, yeah, you always on go, and I respect it because like you always, bro. Even like when I came in 19 and you was my RA, bro. Like you've always had like a different way of thinking, and you've always had a purpose to everything you do. So that's what like, and it made me respect you as like you know what I'm saying, a worker, but then it made me respect you as a man because I done seen like you know what I'm saying, you got your child, and then you know what I'm saying, you married, you and Mateo, like you handling your business as a family man. So I'm like, yeah, he got it going on for
And then
sure. But
like
nah,
granted, I know it's not for everybody. Like talking to kids about like mental health, like it's an issue. Like you get burnt out, you do a lot of stuff. Like granted, I got my times where I come home and I'm like I need a minute. Like I granted, I've replaced a lot of that now with like praying. So like being in faith and
hmm
being able to just hit my knees and like thank him for I think for like the challenge, like being able to have the opportunity to like thrive in those stressful moments. That's kind of
yeah,
like what gives me strength is like I tell Mateo all the time jokingly, but like I'll be burnt out or like my wheels is turning and I'm real quiet and I'm not talking like I usually do and she's like, "Are you okay? Are we good?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we're good." I was like, "I'm just processing." I was like,
Yeah.
I can't ask God for challenges and then be like, no, I don't want this. Like, it's bitter
Nah, for
sometimes,
sure.
but I'm asking for it, and He's giving me all the chances to be better. So,
And to
uh,
learn.
right, and then like for example, I tell like God, like give me opportunities to grow, not only for you but the people around me. And then the
Hmm.
day before we leave for APCA, Adam's wife gets sick. He can't go, so I solo it.
Mm.
Wasn't necessarily something that I was like prepared for because APCA's like is so mentally draining.
Yeah, for sure.
So being able to like step up and be like, I got it. Like I'm let me lock in, and it's not gonna be easy, but I got it.
Yeah.
Granted,
Was it? It wasn't just you up there, was it?
yeah, just me as an advisor.
No, I meant like you was the like. I
Oh
know
yeah,
you and Adam usually do it, but
yeah,
I was talking to. I remember Diego and
yeah,
Obi. All them
yeah.
boys went too. So
So we
okay.
had it was supposed to be 11, including me and Adam, and we ended up having to cut the numbers because we only had one driver, so it was me and
Hmm.
five students. But
Okay.
again, I can't like that day so much, and I told Rob Tuesday too. I was like, I came home. Usually it's like first things first, kiss Mateo, kiss Evie. I came home,
Hmm.
hit my knees, was like, thank you for the opportunity.
Thank yeah, for sure, for sure.
And
A
I mean,
blessing,
it
bro.
sucked like mentally, like it's already exhausting already. But usually you have like somebody you can piggyback on, like, yeah, hey, you go to this session and I'll take like a break, and then we can flip. You can take a break and I'll stay at the session. But having to do it myself, and like, granted, the extra overtime is gonna look nice on a check, but
Ah,
the last hour and a half, music was on. I wasn't talking to anybody. I'm like, I'm tired of talking. Let me just get home.
yeah. That little yeah, boy. Hey, the little battery was drained. I'm already knowing, bro.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm. Are you familiar with ambivert? Do you know that word?
Nah, I ain't never heard of that one
Okay,
before.
I
What's that?
just learned it like a couple weeks ago. So ambivert.
Uh-huh.
So you have your introverted people and your
Mhm.
extroverted people. Ambiverts are both.
Oh, okay.
So like that's definitely what I am. Like I've always explained it like I can be extroverted, but I like to be introverted.
Hmm.
So now I just hit them with that ambivert. Makes you sound like I know what I'm talking about.
They say, oh, okay, yeah, like, all right, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, man,
but
already.
I did a session at APCA as like a advisor session, and the kids.
Hmm.
Granted, it comes from like the which is one of my biggest pet peeves is I'm sure you can attest to. A lot of people will like talk to you like you're a child as a student in college. Like, bro, I'm an adult.
Exactly.
Like my thing was when I got here, I've been an adult since I was 14, and you're over here talking to me like I'm a baby, bro. Like I'm a grown man.
Nope.
I might not look
Exactly. So
like it,
treat me as such.
right, right. But
Yeah.
that's one thing that I carry into like speaking is like you're an adult. I'm gonna talk to you like you're an adult. Granted, not
Hmm.
everybody takes it well, but at the same time, like
Nah.
for me, I'd much rather somebody tell me straight up how it is, and like what I need to do, opposed to telling me everything's gonna be okay, because that doesn't help anything.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. That's real because like again, what I'm saying, you can respect like you said, some people might take it, they might not take it the right way. It's easy, but it's different ways of how you progress the information or process the information. Like I'd rather, like you said, somebody just go ahead and shoot, be a straight shooter and tell me what it is from the jump. Because at the end of the day, you keep telling somebody if you don't had everybody tell you in your life up until whenever that, oh, everything's gonna be okay, everything's gonna be okay, we're gonna make this work. Then like you forget like what about when it's not when everything's not going to be okay? What about when you got to actually go make it happen? You
Right.
can't depend on Dan and Susie, whatever the case. You can't depend
Yeah.
on them to what I'm saying, to make it happen. You got to go do it yourself. But you've been told your whole life that everything will be okay, and everybody else done kind of picked up the pieces. So that
Absolutely.
shit, like, you can definitely
I think
appreciate a straight
the
shooter.
like understanding of that though is knowing that not everybody's gonna take that well. Like I know that my message
Mm-hmm.
ain't gonna. Not everybody's gonna take the whatever message I'm giving them and run away with it. Like I know that's the case.
Yeah,
But if that's the
yeah.
case and you don't respond well to that, then don't come to me for advice. Like it sounds like I'm being an asshole, but in reality, that's just like how I view it. Like I'm gonna tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. So if you want to
Exactly.
hear, oh, it's gonna be okay, like you want a hug, then you might want to go somewhere else for that.
For sure. But like what your message, like, no matter if you talking to let's say you talking to a big group of people and you telling people like the amount of people that might not that will perceive your message the wrong way, let's say it's like let's say it's 80% of the people is gonna perceive it, is gonna process it the right way, and gonna take what they need from it, or take the whole thing and like move on. And
Right.
the other 20% don't get it. I mean, I like them odds better than nothing. I like 80-20 odds my
For
way.
sure.
You know what I'm saying? And everybody get what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm 20, maybe it don't appeal to them, so they'll go find a different way that they can process whatever they got to do. But nah, fam,
Yeah.
like
I think too
it,
that
it
like
really
the
just
excitement
like
for me in that aspect is like there's always something I could do to make sure that I'm reaching an audience. So like my goal is to make them better
mhm.
leaders. But if I'm going somewhere and they have a large demographic of people that like hearing what they want to hear opposed to what they need to hear, then
Yeah.
I can because it's all about delivery, right? Like I feel like a lot
Oh
of
yeah.
times if you're talking to somebody and they talk to you like you talk to your friends or like they're relatable, you're like okay, like I don't necessarily agree with what he's saying, but like I get what he's saying. You know what I'm saying? So it's about the delivery. So I can change up like a super harsh delivery and make it somewhat bearable for people who don't like the way I usually would phrase things, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. Delivery is 95% of it. You know what I'm saying? You
Right.
gotta watch how you talk to people, and you gotta, you know what I'm saying, and then it shouldn't be like this, but today's generation, we got, you know what I'm saying, we got stuff going on, and people, it's a little bit softer. Let's just call it
Yeah.
what it is, a little bit softer. So you really gotta watch the way your tone and your delivery and how you say certain things and how it might affect certain people. And I mean, that's just the way it is.
Right.
But we weren't raised like that, bro. Like,
Ultimately,
you know
like
how it is.
in that sense, like I feel like there's a lot of people that are either a part of that dying breed of like, well, look, I gotta go get it because it's not gonna be handed to me.
Hmm.
Um, and I think to an extent, like that's cool, but at the same time, who are they gonna call on when shit needs to get done? You know what I mean? Like it's kind of
Yeah,
my
for
way of
sure.
thinking. Like I'm not gonna change and fold because you don't agree with what I'm saying. I think that's honestly the beauty of being in America and being able to have your own opinions and way of thinking.
Hmm.
But it come down to that aspect. When shit hit the fan and we going off to war, are you about to call on the people that is ready for it and they're gonna stand on what they believe on? Or are you gonna hit up the people that's like, I don't want to get dirty. That's not my spill.
Yeah. You got to figure it out. And
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, you're going to call the people that's ready for it, which is why, you know what I'm saying, you got those people that's put in those positions, but you can always become one of those people that
Right.
is ready for it. You know what I'm saying? You just got to go through maybe the things that ain't as comfortable as you would like them to be, but you got to be. I think it's the biggest thing. Like, you got to be uncomfortable. I mean, you got to be comfortable with the uncomfortable situation.
Yeah, and that's my big thing, bro. Like I love that. I love being uncomfortable
Yeah.
because good
You
things
gotta
happen
like
when
you
you're
gotta be
uncomfortable. And you know how well,
like
like you know how close me and Luke are.
yeah.
So like, when I tell Luke like I'm ready for this next chapter of my life to like be the main provider for my family, like Matea's about to be a stay-at-home mom. Luke is like, I still don't understand you, and I'm like, what do you mean? Like we've been cool for how long? You still don't get me? And he was like, I just don't understand how your brain works that way. Like you are so interested in like running into being uncomfortable. Like it's scary, and I'm like, it is what it is. That's all I
Like
know.
you said, like but like it's beneficial, bro.
Right.
Like, yeah, you gonna have like everything not gonna go the way you plan, but that's like, I mean, that's life though. Like, everything not gonna, what I'm saying, it's not gonna be smooth sailing, but
Right.
you got to be able to take those obstacles head on. And when you do, like, the stuff that you'll come in contact with, like, you be like, oh, I didn't even know that was a possibility before, when I was on the outside looking in before I got into this spill. Like, now I got this, and I'm good with that. Like, this is perfect.
Yeah.
It's just another outcome, bro. And that all comes with being in an uncomfortable situation.
But I feel like
You got
too,
to be.
like you can find people that like, dude, they have that level of obsession with stuff. Like you look at like, say for like content creation wise, look at Mr. Beast. Like he make a video, it blow
Hmm.
up, he make this money on it. He's like, all right, cool. I'm about to spend all of this money back on another video. And his mom's like, let's stow some, like let's put some away. He's like, no, that's not what we're doing.
Yeah.
So he's made his whole name off of putting all the money he makes back into his videos. Um, so like in that sense, he's so invested in what he's doing and he believes in himself so much that he's fine with being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like a video
He
don't do
lit,
well, that's
though.
cool. Let me cut the budget a little bit, take the money that I made and put it back into it. And that's kind of the same sense that I use in my like everything I do is like
Hmm.
I don't know for sure something's gonna work, but like I'm not gonna be thinking what if, you know what I'm doing? Like I'm gonna try it. It don't work like with the streaming stuff. I didn't
Yeah.
expect to have a following like I do and a community like I do and having people bought in just as much as I am.
Mhm.
But it was like I'm doing it anyways. Like I'm gonna play the game X amount of hours a week. I might as well try to put out some type of community people can come and chill and chop it up and have a good time, opposed to just sitting
So,
here and doing it off stream and the only people benefiting from it is a close community. You know what I mean?
yeah, for sure. Now that's lit though, cause like, but through your failures, you can learn through your failures
Right.
too, bro. It's like if you put something out and it don't work, all right, cool. I can take this information and I could try to double back, or I could just take this information, take it as a lump, but still learn from it, take something from it, because it's only a loss if you don't learn from it.
Right. No, absolutely.
That's the only time it's a loss, bro. Like I
Well,
really think
and that's how
you.
I got to the podcast point because I was like, I
Mhm,
like talking to people. Like I'm, and kind of in my dad phase of just trying to get as much information as possible. So like talking to somebody who might not think the same way as me, we
mhm.
might leave the conversation and not agree with each other at all. But at least I had a conversation. You know what I mean? Which I think is lost
Exactly.
anyways. People are scared to have conversations now because they're scared to say something to offend somebody.
Hmm.
And I've talked to
That
people
is valid.
already. I'm 6 episodes in, very different opinions, and like talking about conversations that they don't typically talk about. Like I talked to a friend of mine who's LGBTQ, like kind of separated herself from religion. We talked about religion for an hour and a half.
Yeah,
So it's like
just one of those things.
right, especially now. Like I seen a TikTok, it kind of messed me up, and it was like guy gets into heaven and he's like talking to Paul, or no, he's talking to Moses, and
Hmm.
he's like what was it like? Like he asked Moses, what is it like to like be able to like carry God's word so well and like part the seas and free all these people? And Moses is like, I mean, it was cool, but like, what was it like in 2025? And the guy's like, I mean, it was all right. And he was like, you had a phone, right? And he's like, yeah. And he goes, you must have been able to reach millions of people, like
Hmm.
spread God's word. And he's like, no, not really. Like I didn't really try. So it's like that in that
Why
sense of
not?
like
Yeah.
the opportunities we have, I feel like we don't take advantage of as much as we should. So if I get an opportunity, even if it's like three people in chat and I'm talking about God, then that's something they could take and talk to their friends and so on and so forth. But
Mhm. And the platform has a chance to grow because they're like, oh, well, you heard this? Oh, I'm saying, this is God I like to watch. I'm saying, I ain't never met him before, but I came across his page somehow, some way,
right,
and I'm saying, here's his Instagram, or here's his Twitch, his Discord, whatever. He does it every Tuesday, whenever the case may
yeah.
be. Next thing you know, that's just gonna grow the
Well, I mean,
platform,
see,
bro.
and like I said, I was like, oh, let me test it because I mean, one of my homeboys that's on every day started working third shift, so he only on weekends. So I'm like,
Yeah.
let me venture in some new shit. Let me try some different stuff. So then I started doing a pod, and I really liked it, and it did really good numbers. Got some following, so I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna do Tuesdays, and then it kind of took off. So I'm like, okay, let me add another day in the week.
Yeah,
So
tight, tight.
it
That's
it,
all
it
about it, bro.
ultimately
Like,
you like learn, like what you said, like if you don't learn nothing, then it's a failure. So
yeah.
like I know when it comes to like the IT side of stuff, I don't know everything, but like there's things I try to like watch and learn new stuff. But at the end of the day, I got a group of people around me that knows more than I do. That's the key, I think.
Hmm.
If you're trying to do anything in life, as long as you surround yourself with people that are strong-willed and know a lot of different things. I mean, especially in the business world, you talk about lawyers and accountants and all the things that you need to make a business work. You making them connections, then you're better off than you were.
Oh yeah, for sure. We don't know everything, but you got to be willing. You got to be willing to learn everything. Like you said, bro. Like don't nobody knows anything. Like I like and even in the job site, it's always something you don't know. It don't matter if you the CEO of freaking Pepsi or Dollar General, bro. Like there's something that you don't know in the company that you can learn, bro. Like you can't be too big to learn from anybody. Like that's and I know you like that because I done seen it and I know I'm like that, bro. Like we ain't too good to learn. If you got information and it's good information, I done seen you do it, and you trying to get this information to me. Yes, I'm gonna listen and I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna take it from you
Right.
because it's just something else I can put under my in my tool bag.
Right. And I
So
think that
the
too
more the
is kind
better.
of it's starting to get lost. Like I feel like if you are at the top of like a $1 billion organization, you don't know what somebody's doing on a day to day, and a lot of people ain't.
Hmm.
They either ain't got the time or the willingness to like figure out how they do things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
like Toyota, for example, they're one of those companies that, granted, they you hear bad things for people that work from Toyota, but like in the
Yeah,
sense of making people's job easier, the people who know how to make their job easier is the people that's doing it every day. You building a car every day, you know how to take shortcuts to make a job, like make the car move down the line faster.
no cap.
So like Toyota kind of took that incentive of like, okay, what ideas do you have to make your job easier and kind of speed up the process? And they're like, oh, if we had chairs that like swiveled and we could sit in them and move around the car, it would make it easier. So they implement that.
Mhm.
Just like that step of being like, okay, I am on the like paper side of things. I don't know how you do your job day to day. So what can I like?
Exactly.
What is the best way to stock a shelf? I don't know that. Explain it to me. If it's good enough for you and it works and you got the best shelves at any store that I own, then let me roll that out across the stores. It's really simple,
Boom.
and people just get lost in their day to day that they don't take the extra incentive.
And that's all it is. It's really well. It's want to first. You gotta want to be
Right,
able to, what I'm saying, to learn those things. You gotta want to
right,
do that. You gotta want to do it, and you have to. I mean, the information is always going to be presented, especially if you at the top of the company. You just got to go find it. Like some of these dudes, if they trying to do something like that, they got to go blow dust off the thing, just to blow dust off the portfolio, just to get into that
right.
information, bro. Because it's been so long.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got to be innovative, bro. You gotta learn. You got to be able to not be afraid to branch out and try new things, bro. That's the number one killer, bro.
Right.
Like,
I think a
but
lot of that
you got
comes
to
with
be able to.
greed. Like I feel like once a person gets to a certain point in business where they're making so much money, that's like, how do I make more
Mhm.
money? I don't really give a fuck about the people that work for me. Let me just figure out how to make more money.
And that's how you get pushback. That's how you get pushback from the people that's that might be below you in the
Right.
in the chain or the branch. You know what I'm saying? You get pushback from that, and it takes these billionaires, and that's how a lot of these mugs end up. You know what I'm saying? Oh, like you get pushback from the company. It doesn't work without the people below you. Like at some point in time, you didn't just walk into the door and just be a CEO.
Right.
Like you had to start somewhere. That's
Right.
why you hear everybody, they like, oh yeah, I'm the CEO of this company and this company. I've been here for 25 years. I've been here for 15 years. Like you didn't just walk in the door. They're like, oh yeah, we like the way you look.
Yeah.
We're gonna come be the CEO. We're gonna teach you all this, and then boom. Now in some instances they are like that, but that's not everyday life, bro.
Yeah.
Like you got to work your way up if you want. You got to earn your keep, bro. Like that's the facts of it.
And well, also too, I'm interested to see like your thought process on like. Typically, we don't talk about politics a lot on the stream. I make an
Yeah,
exception for when it comes to podcasts because like it's a topic that I feel like can almost adhere to anything that we may talk about. So in that
yeah.
sense of like people getting there for a reason, how you feel about this DIE shit and how Trump's cutting it?
Yeah, what that is, I don't
Like
be in.
the
I don't be in the politics.
diversity, equity, inclusion jobs.
I mean, is that the thing where they like I forgot. I was talking to somebody about it. I can't remember DIE.
So it's like
Remember. Like they
basically
just
it, it 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 basically falls into like the federal law of like you can't exclude people from a job based off because that's federal law. Like you can't not hire somebody because they're black or they're gay or whatever it may be.
so what is he doing with it?
So the DEI concept is essentially like giving people jobs to fill those roles of like having a black person and Indian person and LGBTQ in the workplace. It's basically so you know what affirmative action is, right?
I've heard, yeah.
Yeah, so like giving scholarships to people of color or um
Oh,
like
so basically, like,
people that would have
okay.
less of a chance of getting into a big school, like affirmative action gets them into a big school solely based off of their religion or based off of their race.
Oh, so in this or in this particular situation, he's doing that. So he's basically like, all right, you got it, or he's getting rid of that, or
Yeah, so like for example, for affirmative action, which is I want to say it was a democratic bill that got passed back in the day, but
mm-hmm.
if we both applied, right?
Yeah,
Like not even like connecting our story to it, like where we came from and where we're at now. It's just based off of okay, this is what TJ looks like and this is what Ben looks like.
Okay.
They have the same. We have the same exact grades, same exact ACT score, but just because you're black, you're more likely to get the scholarship or get into a school because you're black.
Uh,
Because they have to. It's like not a quota,
yeah.
like a set, like you have to have this many people, but like I honestly think that affirmative action plays into that. Like a certain percentage of your campus has to be not
Yes.
white. I think Asian too.
Yeah.
Like white people and Asian people are like excluded more than every other race.
Okay. So okay. With that being said, like my thoughts on that, like, it's well, not confusing. This you can argue from both sides.
Right.
You feel me? Because like you want the people of the people of color, and I'm saying African American. You want them to have the opportunities. But then again, you don't just want to be like, oh well, you got here just because you're black
Right.
or you're Latino or
Right.
you're of some Hispanic descent. So you
That's
don't want to. You
yeah.
don't want that.
That's a lot of the arguments that I've heard is like one they
Yeah,
called it racist because imagine if it was flipped and it only like white people took away scholarships from black people, it would be considered racist.
that
But
would be a problem as
right.
well.
But
Yeah.
the arguments that I've heard a lot of that make a lot of sense to me is like, well, what about those people that aren't sure of themselves, like being a colored person and being like, well, do I belong? Like, do I belong here? Like, am I here because I'm black or am I here because I deserve being here? You know what I mean?
Yeah. You don't want that to happen. So that's why I'm saying like you can argue from
Yeah.
both viewpoints. I see it in both viewpoints,
Right.
but I don't know. I can't be a big fan of that.
But like, so the DEI would be the equivalent of like the workplace. So like that's the same shit they've been doing. Like the Biden administration
Uh huh.
pushed it real heavily, and Trump's like cutting that shit back. So a lot of people like big companies are changing titles to like not to exclude the DEI, so that people can keep their jobs.
I mean, I'm all for people keeping their jobs. I feel like a lot of the stuff that
But
may
my
be
thing is,
going on.
it's not the like I don't want people to not have jobs. That's not
Yeah, for
my
sure.
thing. But do they have a job because they're good at what they do, or do they
Or
have a job because you were trying to meet a quota? That's my thing. So
and
like,
that's
as a
and that's the
businessman, it makes
question.
sense, right? Like like you could probably agree too, but like being somebody who's business oriented, you have a thought like you have your way of thinking like okay, society wise, I think this way, but then you can apply your business knowledge to any situation. So like for me, it makes
Mhm.
sense for me if motherfuckers don't know how to do their job and they just got the job because XYZ. Duh, like why the fuck are they here? You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I don't want them to be
yeah, exactly.
jobless, but at the same time, if they don't have any skills and they're just filling a seat because of the color of their skin or their sexual orientation, do they deserve to be there?
No, but that's how shit doesn't get done right.
Right.
And nobody wants the job to be done, what I'm saying, under the standard. You want to meet the standard or exceed the standard always. And if you just got a motherfucker who has, suppose you in I don't know, let's say a manufacturing job, and this motherfucker has 0 years, zero experience, and that's fine. Like I get it, and everybody's not gonna have the experience, but everybody's skilled at something. It's up to you to go find what you skilled at and leave the manufacturing job, to the motherfucker that's been working for 20 plus
Right.
years on the line.
Right.
You let him go to the line and you go find something else you're skilled at. So everybody can excel at their position, because everybody's important in the organization. It's just identifying where you fit in the organization. That's all it is.
Ultimately,
You know
bro,
what
I
I'm saying?
think that there's only one solution to how divided society is right now,
Hmm.
and that's God. That's the only way.
That's the,
And I'm not talking about like following a religion. I'm talking about following Jesus Christ.
but
Because
everybody, I've been seeing a lot of craziness. It's a lot of craziness going
But
on, bro. And
yeah, no, absolutely. And I think a lot of that come from like having conversations with people that aren't religious. It comes from the people that claim to be Christian but don't live by Christian values. Whether they nitpick what they want in the Bible and
Mhm.
bash people for how they live their life. I think the biggest thing we need to understand as Christians is that not everybody's sins are your sins. Yes, you should try to bring people closer to Jesus, but at the end of the day, you yelling at them and calling them a sinner and telling them they're going to hell is not going to make them change their ways.
It's not at all. And Christians, and I hate it. can't stand it because Christians are the most judgmental. It's the most judgmental religion out here. I've seen people, like you said, people that want to bang your head over the Bible, but they not even living right within, like they not even living right within their own,
Right.
like, you know what I'm saying? So like you can't sit right here and tell me about how I'm not supposed to be having, you know what I'm saying, intercourse outside of wedlock, and how I'm not supposed to be shacking up with one. I'm not supposed to be doing all this and doing all that. But you not living right in your own stuff, not saying that you out here, you know what I'm saying, having sex outside of wedlock or whatever the case may be, not saying that you're doing that, but that's not all Christianity is. You feel me? Like it's a lot more that goes into this Christianity thing, like, you know, that you're not living right by.
Right.
So you can't sit right here and tell me about it when you're not doing it. It's like it doesn't make sense to me, bro. And it's so annoying because it gets, because I know some great Christians. I have great Christians in my family. You know what I'm saying? But I also know some some Christians who need to do some soul
Right.
searching, who need to look in the mirror
Right.
before they go
Because I
trying
mean,
to,
in
you
that
know what I'm
sense,
saying?
now granted, I was kind of off. Like I've read the Bible a couple times. I'm reading it cover to cover again. I'm working through it.
Hmm.
It's a tough read, but my
Yeah.
understanding was like the Bible told us not to judge. It doesn't say not to judge.
Hmm.
It says to judge based off of how you would want to be judged, or based off how you would want to be judged. So
Hmm.
it's hard. I think that's one of the biggest things I struggle with is judgment. Not the sense of like,
Yeah.
oh, this person's living wrong. They're going to hell, whatever. But like for me, like I think the two major crimes you can commit is like a crime against a child or a crime against a woman. Like those are unforgivable to me.
I couldn't agree with you more, bro.
So in that sense,
Like
like
the
I am
whole
harsher judgment towards those people who do that. Like you should be buried under the jail. But at the same time, that's my human brain speaking and not my
yeah,
religious heart speaking. If that makes sense.
yeah, yeah. No, that's perfect. That makes perfect sense. But I'm also like, and that, I mean, hearing you say that, that's something that I agree with as well, because you know, child and women, or a child and a woman, bro. Like those are the, because like I hold my mom to such a high standard. I hold my
Right.
sisters to such a high standard. You know what I'm saying? My little brother, he, you know what I'm saying, he getting old, 13 years old, about to be bigger than me, but like I hold him to a high standard. So if you mess with any of those, or if I hear, like, I just hear a story, like I hear about a man in Cali that, you know what I'm saying, raped the woman, did whatever he did to her. I don't agree with that. Like you said, buried under the jail. That's how I feel. And like it's kind of hard to speak with your religious heart when you hear situations like that, just because of how we uphold the women in our lives, and you know, it's just, and the children. You know, we protect the children. You know what I'm saying? That's what we want to do. So I mean, it's hard to speak with your religious heart and
Yeah.
not your human brain,
Right.
especially when you hear stuff like that. So
Right.
it's definitely a
And two,
struggle.
I think where I'm at now when it comes to like crimes is as long as it's a victimless crime, I don't think that people should
Hmm.
be in jail for it. Like if it's not hurting anybody but
Yeah.
them. Like granted, I feel like we need to take that effort to put into getting them help. Like if it's like drug
Hmm.
charges, like they're bad off on whatever it may be, as long as they're not selling it to somebody else and ruining their life, then we should focus on making sure that person's taken care of and getting them the resources they need to be better. Granted, I've seen the side of
Exactly.
like putting people through the system again and again and again. It doesn't work. Like if you
No.
want help, then you take the help. But if you want the
Hmm.
attention, you're gonna continue to take the help, even though you know you don't want the help. Does that make sense?
That's like the mug going in there for drugs, and he get out and do the same
Right,
thing. He
right.
go right back to jail.
So
Like,
like
I mean, you can't do nothing about
if
that.
you're like selling fentanyl, I definitely think
Hmm.
you should be in prison. Like you're ultimately you might not be injected in somebody's arm or whatever, but you're killing somebody in some form or fashion. But if it's
Because you know what they're gonna do with
right,
it.
so for me, I don't think we should judge based off of victimless crime because ultimately it's just hurting themselves. Like let's help them be better. Now when it
Yeah,
comes, that's
for
where
sure,
I
for sure.
like think with my human brain when it comes to crimes affecting like having a victim, like they're bringing back like the death penalty and they get to choose between
Hmm.
um like firing squad and electric chair now I think.
Yeah,
So it's like to an
but I mean,
extent my human brain is like, well, I mean if they killed somebody, their victim didn't really have a chance to choose how they died, so like it's kind of
I really. But you got the mugs that'll be on death row, and they on death row for like 20 years, bro. It's like they take so long to,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying, do what they got to do. Like, I've heard situations. So how do you feel about that? Like, I not even trying to, what I'm saying, just within the same parameters of the conversation we was having, but like, how do you feel about that? Because I've seen people on death row for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I
it's
don't see. I don't even know the inner workings of how that plays out. I think the rule is like you have to live out a certain amount of the sentence before you're eligible to get the death penalty. I think that's how it works. So like, say
yeah.
you have like a life sentence, you have to serve so many years before they implement the death penalty. I think that's how it
Oh,
works.
okay. Okay.
In
I
that
thought it was,
sense,
but I thought death row was just that,
yeah.
Like you just
Well,
go.
in
That's
that
what I
sense,
thought.
though, like our if you've seen our prison systems, granted, I think there's a lot of issues. I still think America is the greatest country you could live in.
Hmm.
I don't think it's the best. I think that's a lot of like people's ill mind towards America is like when
Yeah.
people say it's a great place, like if there's nobody better. Um, they think that I'm saying like America's perfect and it can't get better. That's not what I'm saying.
Nah, we definitely can improve.
Cause like when I say I'm a like full through and through American, I believe not in the current America. I believe in the America founded in 1776. When people was like, oh, you want to tax us out the ass and you want to tell us that we have to do X, Y, and Z and give up our houses at
Mm-hmm.
a flip of a hat. No, I'm not doing that. That's the America I
Yeah,
like. Granted, the
yeah,
shit
for
that
sure.
happened after definitely not acceptable. Um,
But
but
yeah,
that sense of like everybody's free, you can say whatever you want, you can believe whatever you want. That's why quickly like if somebody's being silenced, I'll stand up for them because like that's against your
yeah,
freedom of speech.
exactly.
But
And it's a lot of it's a lot of
yeah,
people trying to silence. There's a lot of that
right.
that's trying to
Because
that's
I
going
don't
on,
think
bro.
America's perfect. I think we got a lot of growing to do. But I think the
Oh yeah,
core
for
of
sure.
that issue comes back to the starting of this conversation, and there's only one way to do that. That's Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but you got to get the people to believe, bro. Everybody, everybody want to be. It's like everybody want to be a conspiracy theorist. Like they want to, oh, well, if this didn't happen, well, then this. But then how do you know if Jesus is real? If he let this happen, or if that, I'm like, bro, like, come on now, like, let's read the writing on the wall, bro.
I mean,
He, like,
there's
this
more
God, bro.
historical evidence that Jesus Christ existed than Helen Keller. So, and she was born way
But
after him. So, what are we talking about? We're talking
people don't
historical
want to
data. But people don't want to
people
believe
not
that.
trying to do that though.
Right.
No, that's not because that goes against the agenda, bro. Everybody got their own agenda they trying to push, man.
But for me,
Everybody.
it wasn't that I didn't believe that there was. So like I said I was atheist a lot, but I was more agnostic, and agnostic just means like a lack of understanding,
Hmm.
and that's what it was for me. Like when I lost my dad, I couldn't wrap my head around. Like I'm a very logical thinker, so
Yeah.
for me, my biggest struggle was like why, like I don't understand. Now being like in the position that I've had, like I told you, like having Evie was like, there's no reason a guy that's done all the shit I've done should have it this good.
Yeah.
And that was my
For
come to
sure.
Jesus moment. And I kind of realized like I am a child of God and I'm asking him why he did something. That'd be like my daughter being like, Dad, why'd you do that? You know what I mean? Like, especially something
Right.
that I had to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
So
For
it's
sure. For
like,
sure. But
who
it's
am
something
I
that
to
it goes to that
ask
understanding.
why? Like, it's not for us to
Yeah.
understand. And I think a lot of people, that's a lot of the struggles that people have. It's like they don't
Yeah.
understand and they want to, but it's like you'll never understand.
You just gotta trust. You gotta trust that this happened for a reason, and there's a there's a light at the end of the
Yeah.
tunnel, bro. Like you have to. That's that faith and that understanding. Like, but you can't really. It's kind of hard. Like you said, it's kind of hard to have that faith when you don't understand. Like like us as humans. Like us as humans, it's human nature. We want to understand
Yeah.
everything, and we cannot understand everything.
But we live
You
in
feel
that
me?
age
So
where we could literally say, "Oh, why does that happen?" And then you could pull out your phone and Google it, and then you could be like, "Oh, okay, I understand."
now I understand now. But
Right.
people
But
don't want to do that though, because
no,
that
yeah,
requires effort.
yeah,
The people, and it confuses me because people would rather walk around blind with their eyes closed than they would to just take the 2 seconds to research it or to gain some understanding about it. They would rather walk around blind before they would go get some information, bro. And it's the
yeah.
craziest thing to me. And
No,
I've seen it
absolutely.
like, and don't get me wrong, I've been a victim of it. Like I've been like, well, I want to know why this happened right here. And I'm like, I've like that's something that I'm still working like that I'm working to. I'm more so getting in tune with pulling up my phone and gaining the understanding of stuff where I wasn't like that before. But I guess that comes with getting older or
Yeah,
whatever
no,
because you want to be
definitely
stuck in.
growth, right? Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah. That's all it is. That's how you gotta look at it like that. That's all it is growth, bro.
Well, I mean,
But
like you seen that guy when uh they like asked him what he would ask God,
hmm
and they're like,
I think I yeah.
and he's like, I wouldn't ask why, and the guy said why, and he said, you know what Y stands for? Who hurt you? You know what else it stands for? What healed you?
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like, damn.
Wow.
Ultimately, it come down to I don't really need to know why things happen. I just need to trust in God and know that His plan is way bigger than any plan I can make myself.
Who
So
hurt you?
I'll just be swerving in that corner, yo. You know what I'm saying?
Whoa.
uh,
Dang, that's lit though, bro. I like that. I like
because I
that.
mean, ultimately, that makes a lot of sense. Like you're asking why, but like, what are you gonna get out of it?
Yeah.
Because you already know the
Besides,
answer.
you could get, I mean, you get most of the time you get an answer why, and that leads to more questions, and you continuously question if it's like a
Yeah,
snowball effect. It
yeah.
just leads to more questions, bro. So that's just one of the things, bro. You gotta.
And one thing I
Mm,
said too when I was more agnostic was like, um, I feel like people that are Christians use God as a crutch, and now I'm like, hell
hmm
yeah, I do, hell yeah,
Yeah,
because I know
yeah,
that man's got
for
me,
sure.
so I can be like, hey, it's in your hands, brother. Just let me know what I need to do.
Through whatever,
Yeah,
like got you through whatever,
right.
bro. Like from the worst of the worst to the best of the best, bro. Like he got you through whatever, bro. Like that's that understanding. So yeah, like yeah, I use him as a crutch too. Like bro, I said, bro, I said, and I'm gonna just tell you how God works, bro. Like I said a prayer. Yeah, I say my prayers every night so I go to sleep. It's one of those things, bro. Like I said a prayer and I'm like, open my eyes and let me know what I need to do. And it was talking about, my next steps when I graduate. And, lo and behold, I get a call. I get a call from a company and I'm like, oh, okay. Like I like literally, I was at work. I prayed about this the previous night. It's about three in the afternoon. I get a call and I'm like, I understand it now because
Yeah,
this is what I just asked you to open my eyes to,
yeah,
and he did it like that. I'm like, yeah, God real, but this is all God. But
yeah,
this ain't me like
right,
these folks. Like this is
right.
all God, bro.
Luke said, "What's up?"
So
Luke's
yeah,
in
he
chat.
definitely real. Yo, what's up, Luke, man? Yeah, like what you been up to, bro? Working hard.
Man's living his life, his best life now that he's not here. But no, I got some hard shit for you.
What?
So going off what you said about using him as a crutch, I ain't seen
Mm-hmm.
one person use a crutch when they didn't need it. Let it just sink in for a second. So yeah, I use God as a crutch, but I wouldn't be asking for it if I didn't need it.
I didn't need it. That's heavy.
I
That's
like
heavy.
especially like think of it from an athlete standpoint, right? You got banged up
Yeah.
before playing sports. You ain't ever been like, oh, let me get some crutches. They usually just hand it to you. Like you
Uh
need
huh.
these. I ain't
And when
picking
you
up the
need it the
crutch
most,
myself. I be struggling. I be praying on
no,
shit, and God be like, here you go. Here's the crutches, bro. I got you. That's a cross you ain't got
every
to carry
time.
yourself. That's some heavy stuff.
Ooh wee.
Yeah,
Oh
you can use
boy,
that
that's
too.
big.
Yeah.
That is cool. That's heavy, cuz. And T. Oof.
um, but going off of that, um, let's talk a little bit about. I want to get into this conversation we've been like having in spurts about like trying to be something you're not.
Mm-hmm.
But just like for some context, like give us a little rundown. I typically start with like having you do a bio off of what I did, but I feel like my bio is pretty good.
Yeah, for
And then we
sure. You
just kind
did
of got
that.
straight into
Ha,
conversation.
for
But
sure.
like talk about like childhood a little bit, like how you grew up, kind of what situations you've been through that kind of got you to where you're at, and then we can kind of get into that continuous conversation we have
Cool.
every time we link up.
Cool. Yeah, no, I'm saying. But now, so childhood, bro. You know what I'm saying? It was cool. Like I mean, it was me and my mom. It was me and my older brother and just my mom. Like pops wasn't in the picture. You know what I'm saying? Single mom. So that's why like when we were talking about it earlier, I mentioned how high of a platform I put my mother on and the women in my life because I think women are the greatest and God's greatest invention, bro. Because like my mom, seeing my mom and seeing the things that she's went through, and just and not even I don't even know I don't even think I know a quarter of the battles my mom done fought without letting me and my brother see. You feel
You
me?
learn.
I know
Yeah, you
as
definitely
you
learn.
go,
Yeah, because I mean, there's
you
shit
learn
that I
as you
didn't know
go
about my dad, and then now I'm like,
that he,
I'm getting these seeds of like, damn, that shit's real. That really happened. That's crazy. But yeah, you definitely
you know what I'm saying?
the more it come with like maturity. Like once they feel like you're at a certain point, they start telling you shit a little bit more.
hmm But yeah, I still like she's dropped little dimes and stuff, but I still don't think I know even 25% of the battles that she faced. So, but with that being said, though, it was my mom, me, my mom, my older brother, and then she turned around and had my little brother when I was 10 or 11, so he came in the picture. So it was just it was just my mom, my brother who was 4 years older than me, and then my little brother who was what I'm saying, he a baby. So just seeing that, bro, and seeing how hard my mom worked, and how she, I'd never seen my mom cry. Like I might no, actually, I'm capping. I might have seen her cry one time. You know what I'm saying? She never seen it. And to her, she always trained us. And it's not so much as saying like, oh, you a man, you're not allowed to show no emotion. But she trained us like, hey, bro, like, I don't care how bad you think it is, like somebody, whether it's down the road or across the country or not even in the country, got it way worse than you.
Right.
So all this bitching and moaning you doing, you can go ahead and dry that up. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that we only got bread and bologna in the refrigerator when there's kids over there in Africa that they don't even got water to drink.
I mean,
You know what I'm
shit,
saying?
probably
Or
kids
it's
here.
kids
Yeah.
exactly. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's kids down the road, or it's a child. I don't want to hear you complaining about what y'all had for lunch. At school this one day when that might be a child that's sitting beside you. That might be their only meal for the day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like she's like, I don't want to hear that shit. So that whole, you know what I'm saying, bitching and complaining and all that. My mind, she ain't play that, bro. Like, and like she was, she know emotions was gonna come, but like she was real big on the discipline, and you not finna bitch and complain. You a boy. I need you to go ahead and dry that up, and just and if you gonna do something, you gonna finish it.
Right.
You gonna finish what you start. We not gonna quit in the middle of nothing. Like that's not how my mom raised us. It's
Right.
not how we was wired, bro. Like she ain't raised us like that. So that's who I do it for, bro. Like you want to hear about like you look at me, you see the football, the accolades, and all these things. Like yeah, they cool. They're cool. Like they're cool. Self accomplishments, but that really who I do it for is for my mom to be like, oh yeah, mom, what I'm saying, I made it to the, what I'm saying, Kentucky Commonwealth Hall of Fame. I made it on the team. What I'm saying, I did the all conference thing. I got all region, I got all state. I'm doing like this is me, but this is only a product of, to let you know that everything that you didn't go in vain. Like I picked up on what you was telling me, even though you thought I wasn't listening.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I did that. So I mean that's really who I do it for, bro. Like of course I want to be successful myself, but I was just, more so to just show my mom that, what I'm saying, this didn't go in the vein, and to show my little brother like, bro, like you can do this. You know what I'm saying? You can do whatever you put your mind to, bro. Like you can go to college, you can play ball, you know what I'm saying? You could do all of this stuff, bro. Like and that don't mean the hard times not gonna come. But it can be done, bro, just through perseverance for real. So that's the little rundown about the Benji, bro.
So, going off of like that concept, it wasn't very much different for me.
Yeah.
Coming with kind of you talked about like you learning later on in life. I found out recently that like as like siblings, you could go through the same trauma. Like they be raised the exact
hmm
same way, go through the same trauma, but everybody takes like processes it different.
Sure.
So, like talking to my sister, my brother, I see that like workings, and like I think a lot of it like comes to, I guess, the gender side of stuff. So like talking to my sister is like she's saying I think that it would have benefited. So like you know my story. Like my dad gets sick, whatever. He's still working 3 jobs
Hmm.
while doing chemo. And she said that she thinks a lot of the reason why he died so fast was because he was working so much and he's not sleeping, not getting recovery. And she was like, I think he
Yeah.
could have definitely worked less. And I was like, I get that. Like, I definitely agree with you. But at the same time, I took a different lesson from that in the sense of like,
Hmm.
you took the steps to become a father. There's people that depend on you. You go beyond, like, you kill yourself to make sure they're taken care of. That's what I
So
took away from my dad. And granted, I don't disagree. Like, I definitely think, would it have been nice for him to get more sleep? Yeah, he probably wouldn't. He would have lasted a little bit longer. But at the same time,
mhm.
I think he knew. Like, a part of me thinks he knew that he. Granted, they kind of told him. Like, they told him it was stage 4, like, he wasn't going to beat it. But my dad's such a badass that he
Yeah,
was
for
like,
sure.
nah, I'm beating this shit.
Yeah.
so,
Nah, that's real. That's real.
so I think, kind of like, for me, my lesson was like, be hungry early so that you don't have to stress about it being too close from your time and you don't like you're not prepared. Like your people aren't taken
Hmm.
care of. So like first thing I did as soon as me and Mateo got married, started a life insurance policy
Hmm.
because like I have plans of making money to make sure we're taken care of, but like if I don't get to that point, I want to make sure she got something. You feel me?
Something.
Something more than what we had. Because I mean, it's one thing for a couple 100,000. It ain't equivalent of what I'm worth, but like it's more than 30,000 for 5 kids. You get me?
Yeah.
So like, there's things I learned from him, and that's ultimately why I went to college. Is like I know how to bust my ass. I don't care what situation you put me in. I'm gonna find a way to work my hardest to make sure I hit whatever goals you have for me.
Hmm.
But the business knowledge is what I needed. Like my dad, great person, terrible businessman. I'm sure he'd tell you the
Yeah.
same thing. Like he worked
Yeah,
so
for
hard
sure.
because he made poor business decisions. And not in the sense of it being the wrong decisions. Like it wasn't like he was like spending business money on other stuff. He just
Yeah.
he had all the like he was all the core values of what a Christian is without actually following Jesus Christ. So like he would go and do jobs for free for old people who couldn't pay him. And then
Yeah.
he gets on this debt from businesses where he's taking this equipment from. Like his values were good, but at the same time, like business
Aligned, very
wise,
aligned. Yeah.
well, granted, there's a way to go between it. Like you can't do a completely free job. You cut them a deal. You
No.
work with them payment wise, whatever.
Hmm.
So that's what I needed to learn. So that's why I went to college for business, is because like I know it's in me. I can be a businessman and I can talk to whoever and impress them off just conversation. But
Hmm.
how do I figure out how to work the inner workings of running a business and how do I do it correctly? Um, so that's where I got to where I'm at. I think one thing that I'm sure you can attest to, and we've kind of talked about it too, is like once I got to college, my old self was very like it's still me, but I'm not
Yeah.
like the shitty decisions I made as a 14-year-old aren't is not who I am now. Like I'm a very different person now than what I was at 14.
Yeah.
So like if people ask me, I'll
Growth.
tell you like this is what I was doing. It was some fuck shit, but it's not that's not who I embody now.
Mhm.
Like if somebody was trying to press me now, I'd be like, "You got it, bro. I ain't got no, whatever. Like I ain't got time
But
for it."
the old you ain't going for that. But
Right.
this new you that you see now, it's a bigger picture. You got the wife and you got your child, bro.
Yeah.
It's people that's dependent on you to. At the end of the day, it's people depending on you to walk through the door, just to come home, bro.
And that's hey,
Evie, like, hey, I pops, hey, I need you to bring it back
yeah.
to the when everything's said and done, pops, I need you to be back into the crib. I need you to get back to the crib. Mateo, like, hey, when everything is said and done, like, you my husband, I need you back at the house. I need to be able to look at you back at the house. You go do whatever you got to do on the game, whatever you want to do. But I need to know that I could just walk into the room and you right there. I need you to make it back to the crib. And that's the biggest thing through everything, bro. You got to make it back home, bro.
Right.
Especially when it ain't just you that's being depended on.
Right. And I think a lot of that is pride. Like I don't if you are
Who
not
is
directly affecting the health and well-being of my wife and daughter, I could care less what you say.
Don't give a shit
Like
about you.
I got some boys now that got families and they still got that crash out mentality. And I told my homeboy, I was like, look, bro, I love you to death, bro, but you have me so nervous. I was like, cause I respect it. Like you still have that, you got that edge to you, but at the same time, what's it worth?
Mhm.
Like what's
Nothing.
some dude calling
Whole
you a name at a bar and you get into a fight or a shootout or whatever? That's not worth your life. Like I'm nervous that I'm gonna get a call that something
not.
happened to you.
And bro, I don't even know if you heard about it. I've been seeing it on Twitter. It was this rapper in Texas, bro. And like, and this is a thing. Like, this kind of ties into what you just said, bro. Like, this this rapper, like, of course, what comes with it. He probably got a gang or a set that he
Yeah,
playing, whatever. You not, I know where you
yeah,
from. You know about it. So, um, he, got set. Of course, when you join the set, you ops come with that. Comes with the territory. So, bro, he at the car wash with his 5-year-old daughter, bro. They run up on him and kill him and his daughter, bro. Some crazy,
yeah.
like video. You can see him trying to, like, they kill him and his daughter, bro. It's like you're not just putting your life on, like, which that's going against the G code, because everybody knows it don't matter, no matter where you from. If you got, suppose you got an op, you see your op in Walmart, and he with his baby or his baby mama, and she pregnant. You not supposed to press that issue
Right.
when they with their family. You got to get with them at another time and date.
Yeah.
That's how it's supposed to go. That's G code.
But at the same
Everybody
time,
don't
bro, that
abide
come
by
with the
that.
changing times, bro. Youngins ain't on that shit no
Everybody,
more. Cause you ask
everybody
a
don't abide.
OG,
That's what I'm saying.
that's still law, bro. You ask a OG, he's like, yeah, for sure. Like it's you might say some slick shit like I'm gonna catch you, but you ain't acting on it.
You not. That's not
Right.
what you not supposed to.
But see,
But
I
like
think
you
one
said, it
person that
comes
get
with the changing time.
like I think one person in the going off rap community, they get a lot of flack for that shit's Dirk. I'd say,
Mm-hmm.
which granted, Dirk kind of he's like playing a weird in between, but Herb for sure that's Herb. He
Yeah.
even said it. He said, "What I don't like on being in the hood, I ain't little Herbie no more." Fuck are you talking about? I got bread. I
Like
got
I
people
don't have a
depending on
reason to
me.
be there.
Yeah, I'm doing way more
I
for my
don't
peoples up
like
in the suburbs paying bills than I am
that
fucking
I
on the
am back
street.
in the
Right,
trenches.
right.
Like it,
I ain't
I
little
don't
Herbie no
understand. That's why I
more.
don't
Fuck
get
is you
that
talking
whole.
about?
I'm not Lil Herbie no more. But I don't. But that's why I don't get it. Like, people will take that as like, like he don't come back to the hood no more. That's like you becoming the millionaire that you gonna be, and you going back to Louisville, back to your same street, back in the trenches. Because I know where you from. We done talked about it. You going back to the trenches, and and you just doing the same shit. Like, no, I can't move like that because I don't have the same.
Right.
Those same principles don't apply to me, bro. Like, people be like, "Oh, he's scared to come back to the hood." No, I'm not scared. I got people depending on me. Niggas go back to they. I'm sorry, my fault.
No, you're
People
good.
go back to their hood. People go back to their hood, and they get killed in their own hood, bro. They
Dolph.
get killed in their own. It happened.
Yeah,
Dolph, bro,
yeah.
like he went to the cookie shop. That cookie shop he got killed in front of. Bro, he went there almost every day. The same spot he used to go and chill at, the same spot he got. That's why niggas don't go back to the hood,
Yeah.
because it's a lot of envy, a lot of jealousy, and a lot of, well, he made it out, so I'm gonna go ahead and take off his plate.
Right.
And that's most of the time these mugs will do it for a chain, bro, because you got on a piece of
Right.
jewelry. They'll take your
I
chain,
think too
but they're
though.
in your life, bro.
I think there's levels to it for sure. I think for me, like that life was something that like growing up with certain people I was always like aware of. But
Mm-hmm.
ultimately for me, I put myself in that position. Like it wasn't like something I grew up in, like I had like was in section 8. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like granted
Yeah.
we were poor. My
Mm-hmm.
parents did good to hide it. Like we got whatever we wanted, even though it was gonna hurt. But it was
You knew
real
the real though.
easy. Like the ties was real easy to get in some fuckery because I knew enough people. So like I put myself in
Mm-hmm.
positions that I shouldn't have been in, and I think that's the biggest part of growth. Like I right before I had Evie, I finally told my sister that I had basically lived a double life and was doing all this stupid shit and abusing drugs and
Mm-hmm.
alcohol and all this, and it was just kind of that for me was like one thing I had to get off my chest before like starting a new phase of my life because I feel like I was in a way I was gonna be stuck in that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Just
like
laying everything on the line
right,
though.
like I mean at that point, ultimately I think my biggest concern was that they were gonna disown me if they had known like what I was caught up in. Granted,
Hmm.
they don't know the depths of it, and ultimately, I don't necessarily want them to. But
Yeah,
they know the gist. Like I was running around places I shouldn't have been running around with people I shouldn't have been running around with, getting into stupid shit. And that's like if I
yeah,
go back and change one thing, that would definitely be one. I feel like it ultimately helped me grow, like to have that way of thinking. I think it people can relate, not relate, but like they get more out of us. Like if I'm telling them some shit I've been through.
yeah, for
So
sure. You got to keep it. You got to keep it real
right,
surface level though. Just they just need to know that I did it, but I came up out of that,
right,
and now that's who made me who I am standing in front of you right now. But
right.
you ain't
And
got to go into
and that's a
the
lot of
you ain't got to go into
conversation
the
we've
depth.
had too. Is like just because that's what you come from, don't mean that's where you're at now. Like look around you, look who's around you.
Boy, change is everywhere.
There might be some
Anybody
motherfuckers
can
that is
change.
curious and they want to press you, but that's cool, bro. Like what? Ain't no word ain't getting back to your homeboys wherever you're from that you bitch made yada yada. Nobody cares. Like if somebody press you on a
Nobody
college
cares.
campus, you say, "Bro, you got it. I don't want no part of that. I'm trying to get an education,
Bro,
or I'm trying to play ball."
ain't ain't don't get me wrong. Ain't no gangsters in college. Ain't no Bloods in college. Ain't no Crips in college. Yeah, you might know Bloods back in the city. Yeah, you might know GDs back in the city. You might know Crips back in the city. You're not that though.
Well, I think the
You
second that you decide to go out, like you leave that place. You are no longer affiliated. Like
nope. You can't
next chapter of life,
bang
brother. Yeah.
you can't bang from 4 hours away, bro. They can't get to you quick enough if something was to go. Like no, bro, they might be on the way. They can't get to you quick enough, bro.
Have you seen that dude that be making TikToks of he does a basketball right now, but somebody will like throw up the threes or something, and he's like, "Where the fuck are you from?" And it'll look him up, and then some people who'd be like, "You got it, bro, you got it," and then some people he's like, "Nah, don't ever do that shit again."
Nah, bro, like they'll do that though. Like, I get it, bro. Like, but at the end of the day, don't perpetrate like you was actually in that, bro. You probably was little bro. Like, especially if you come down here and you an athlete, because that's who want to do it the most. You know what I'm saying? You like, I ain't gonna lie. Some of my former teammates, I don't play ball no more, but some of my former teammates say, "Oh yeah, crip this, crip that." I'm like, well, like let's put it in the concept. You probably was cool with them, but you was probably like, "Hey, little bro." They was probably the one. You was probably the one that they was like, "Hey, bro, go dribble that ball, go throw that football,
Yeah,
bro. You can't get into this. You good with us,
right.
but you can't get into all that. You could throw up the set. I get you can go ahead and throw up
Yeah,
the set. You know what I'm saying? But nah, bro, ain't no gangsters in college, bro. Like, and it don't get me wrong. All because you not gangster don't mean you a bitch, though. That's not what I'm saying.
yeah.
Like that don't mean that. Like all because you not gangster, you don't have to like. You can be a stand up guy and not take no BS, but you ain't got to be like, oh yeah, bro, I'm blood, bro. I'm non
Yeah.
trade. Like, no, you're not.
Well, especially too, you
You're
probably
number
can vouch too. A
99 on the
lot of those
football
people
team.
that be yeah, yeah. A lot of the people that be flashing like
Like
that, they it's all that. It's talk.
all it is.
Yeah.
Them the same mugs that if they'll throw it. Some people will do it as like an intimidation thing, and I know. I'm not gonna name drop, but I know a mug to this day.
Yeah, me
He used
too.
to play. He used to
Me
play.
too.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we know him. You know what I'm saying? Like he used to play ball. And every time he get into a little bit of conflict, he keep on. He'll start talking this. He'll start talking this. Crypt this blood this G that, and he got pressed by one of my homeboys. One of my homeboys pressed him up. And man, that nigga folded like a piece of paper. But I ain't gonna name drop.
No,
But
I already know
from
what you're
that,
talking about.
from that, boom. So
Yeah.
I ain't even gotta talk about it no more. Like, bro, I'm like, but that's he the loudest one though. But
Yeah.
when he get pressed with it, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like, but what you backing up for? You was just claiming non-trade, you was claiming Billy, you was claiming all of that, bro. Like
But
you claiming 50
they go
fifths,
off
like
like
whatever.
the just like the animal like uh, I mean humans are animals to an extent, right? So you really look at it,
Yeah.
break it down
Yeah.
from that point. The smallest dog always got to be heard, bruh. And them big dogs could give a fuck less.
Can't in the same in that same homeboy that I'm talking about, you know him. He was never that guy that was.
Yeah.
But you'll know like, hey, when he get into that mode, all right, shit, none got
You
serious
talk
with me.
big dude.
You go ahead. Sin, I said sin.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know
yeah, yeah,
sin.
yeah, 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 yeah.
He not he not the
Yeah,
type
no,
to
real
do all
quiet.
man.
That them the motherfuckers you need to look out for. Motherfucker in the corner not
You
saying
feel
nothing.
me? sitting there
Yeah,
like
just
this.
watching. Them
Oh,
them
like,
motherfuckers that's scary, bro. Like, them motherfuckers you walk in
bro.
like, what's up, big fella? Yeah, I see you. Yeah,
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 you gotta
yeah,
you gotta
yeah,
identify him
yeah,
when you
yeah,
walk into the
yeah,
spot. All right, so he right there. All right, cool, he right
yeah.
there. So if anything happened, I know I need to look and see what he. Yeah, bro, that's he one of them, bro. Like he real solid, bro. But
But
yeah,
you know that I
it's
mean, see, same premise, bro. Like it's like since once I hit 21 and I was carrying,
mm-hmm.
I'm a very come with like the territory. Like
Yeah.
I took the shit I picked up from being in certain situations and then like correlated it to like, okay, how would like somebody who's trained process this situation? So it come with the same process of
Mm-hmm.
like, let me sit with my like facing the door so I can see everything that's going on. If somebody come in, I can take care of my people. So like
Yep.
even in that sense, I've been in a situation where I was like, yo, like you good, and I got that, yeah, yeah, well, we solid, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm like, all right, let me get some distance because he gonna do some fuck shit. So
Just
let
based
me,
off that response, I
yeah,
didn't like that shit.
right,
I didn't like that shit. Yeah, I'm telling you, bro. I
right.
don't sit like, and I knew you had that to you though, because I don't sit with my back to the door neither. I don't like that. I need to know what's going. I need to know who coming in and out this motherfucker. Like
Also, that
that's
should
just
get
what I need
worse.
to
Let me
know.
tell you, it get real bad when you start building a family, bro. It's real bad.
Yeah, because you think you gotta you kind of look at everybody like you look at everybody. It's not even. It's just like second. It's instinct.
Yeah.
You look at you like, oh, hold up. All right, she ain't no shit. He ain't no shit. Okay, just
Yeah.
checking. Just
Right.
checking the room. I just gotta check the
But like,
temperature.
I mean, like
This is
Luke
one of
even
those
said, it
things,
gets
bro.
worse the older you get. But like, just like the older or the more responsibility you have to like protect people, it get worse. So like me and Tay got code
Mm-hmm.
words. Like we, I mean, she tactical with her shit too. So I know if
I
I
know
need,
she.
yeah. So we really teed up. And granted, I like a lot of my successes come from having such a good wife in the sense of like I can tell her things. Sometimes you know how it is.
Yeah.
She questioned it, but like once I explain it, she gets it. Like she don't go fight me on things. You know what I'm saying?
You know, but Mateo don't fuck around though. She's
Right,
solid though. Y'all
right.
like a that's like a match made in heaven, bro.
Well,
Like I
one
was
thing
like,
we
damn,
talked
that's
about,
perfect.
yeah, one thing we talked about is like the situation. So like when I was a kid, my parents told me that they were nervous that like I was gonna get hurt or die like trying to help somebody.
Hmm.
It's always been a thing. So
Hmm.
Matea and I have an understanding of like the way I process shit. I'm not gonna. My first priority is always her and Evie, always.
For
So
sure.
like, say we were out in public and some shit popped off, active shooter or something, right? Like worst case scenario. My number one priority is getting Mateo and Evie out of danger. As soon as they
Hmm.
are safe, my thing is I can't promise you that I'm going to go back to help other people.
Yeah.
Is it
That's just who
fair?
you
Is
is,
it
though.
fair? No. But for me, I know that if I have the means of taking care of a active shooter, for example, I always have the means. No matter where I'm at, I have the means to handle that situation. So
For
for
sure.
me, knowing that that's the case, if I was to go get Evie and Mateo to the car and leave, and then watch the news later and see like some
Uh,
husband's wife and daughter got killed and he didn't do anything, like he couldn't do anything to help them, I'm gonna be sick. That's gonna keep me up at night.
kind of. Yeah. It affects you, bro.
So my thing is, I'm always willing to help people that need help,
Yeah.
but my first priority is gonna be my wife and daughter.
As it should be, bro. Like at the end of, but every risk, you know, with the wife and that comes with the wife and daughter, every risk has got to be calculated, bro. But that's the risk you're willing to take, you know, just being wired how you wired, you know that like, all right, bro, it's a good chance that, you know, after I take care of mine, I'm finna go and try to help others. That's just who you are, bro. That's just how you are as a person.
Yeah,
And I know Mateo know that, bro. Like she know who she married, fam. Like you ain't just it ain't like you just picked up this. You've
yeah,
been like that. You feel
for
me?
sure.
So I mean, it's just one of those things, bro. But everything's just got to be calculated. That's all that is,
I think
for
honestly
sure.
is I wouldn't say gotten worse. Like it's still the same, but like you know how it is, bro. You walk with God, bro. Ultimately, it's in His hands, anyways.
At the end of the day, you
So
can't do nothing about it.
right. So like if that's the case, and I'm in a situation where I gotta help somebody, I mean I'm acting, but God's moving the pin. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. So what's gonna happen is already gonna
Yeah.
happen. It's
Right.
been it's already been written, bro. Like it's already been written.
Right.
You just doing you. It's like you living your purpose, bro. Like because the way that I hate to say it like this, but the way that you gonna go out is the way that God always had it planned for you to go out from the time you was born, bro. Like that's how you gonna go.
Right.
It's as simple as
And
that.
like that sense of like, it's not the like the notoriety. Like I could care less if some shit pop off and I lose my life trying to protect people. Like I don't need my name
Yeah.
on the news.
But we really don't
Yeah,
really
like
want to keep it out. You
I
feel me?
I
But
need no pride in that. You know what I'm saying? Like
mhm.
I mean, ultimately, I think that's a lot of the issue too. Is everybody's so prideful, and that's one of the biggest sins you commit. It's all God. So at the end of the
Yeah,
day, if I'm doing something, it's because I want to do it. Like I know that God is
yeah,
calling me to do it. It's like,
for
do you
sure.
remember that? You remember that Batman theater shooting?
Mm-hmm. In Colorado.
Yeah, guy like shielded two girls, like laid on top of him, and he
I,
died, but they
it's
lived.
another
Same premise.
it's another situation like that, bro. You probably I don't know if you remember Michael Hobby and Xavier Malone, bro. They are from town in Tennessee, or they're from Knoxville, but the high school they went to is Fulton. And I want like who like y'all look up the Xavier Dobson story, bro. Like it's the
Yeah,
same concept of what you said about the Batman theater shooting, but this it was much younger, and God just came up and he started shooting, and he shielded. I think it was three girls, saved their lives. They lived. He ended up passing away. Like so y'all look that up, bro. Xavier Dobson, and forgive me if I'm saying his name wrong, but yeah, bro, it's that same thing, and like it's really like heartwarming because I heard about it before I even met Hob
yeah,
and Zay. You know what I'm saying? Then I I met them freshman year, and it was like, oh, bro, I don't. He was like, y'all went to Fulton. He was like, oh yeah, we went to Fulton. I'm like, that sounds familiar. So I done heard that. I done heard that before. He was like, oh yeah, you probably done heard about our homeboy Zay, and like that was their homeboy. Like they
mm,
locked in, but it's that same situation, bro. It's just instinct, bro.
right.
Like, and that's I mean that was his purpose. Like that was the way he was meant to. That was the way he was meant to go, and it sucks, bro. But that goes back to it ties back into understanding. We don't understand why, why God moved him the way that he did for him to jump over those three girls and shield them and risk his own life and ultimately get his own life taken just to save three other people. We
Right,
don't know why God, wired him to do that, but that's just the story, and we got to just move with the
for
punches.
sure.
We got to roll with the,
I think
got
a
to roll
lot
with
of it.
that, bro.
I think a lot of it come with upbringing. Like,
For sure.
um, I like the quote is like there's three types of people in this world. There's sheep, there's sheepdogs, and there's wolves.
Hmm.
So like you got your sheep, the people that need to be protected. You got your sheepdog, the people that protect them, and you got your wolves, the people that hurt them.
Hmm.
And like I think it's from a movie, but the guy says, "I'll be damned if I've raised any wolves." So like that alone, like that speaks to like I guess the integrity you develop is through like how you're raised and like
For sure.
kind of you said like you hold women like at the highest for like
Hmm.
women and children.
Yeah.
So knowing that like you have that integrity of like these are like valuable, but they're also like pure, I guess, in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. For sure. Not for sure.
But no, that quote has always hit
Big.
hard, and I think too that we kind of talked about crying on on one of the last pods about like as a man and like dad saying don't cry. I
Yeah.
think what my interpretation of that statement is like you're just being a shitty dad at that point. The conversation shouldn't
Yep.
be men don't cry. The conversations should be there's certain situations you can't cry in. Doesn't mean you
Hmm.
can't cry, but
Ooh.
like certain situations you need to act before you cry. Like let that shit come later, process that later.
Yeah.
But like in the moment, you have to take action. Like you shutting down and crying is not helping the situation.
It ain't gonna help nobody, bro. I
So
that's valid. That's real.
so like
That
for
is
me,
real.
granted that wasn't the thing. It was always don't cry,
Hmm.
which is
Yeah.
weird
That's
because
that's
like I was a very
how it
like
was.
I guess you could say emotional. Like I was an emotional kid, but it was just like
Hmm.
so invested in everything I'm doing. Like certain shit just like hit my nerves a certain way. You know what I
It
mean?
affects you.
Right.
Yeah.
So like sports. I used to cry a lot playing sports because I was so invested. So like when I
Invested.
failed, like that shit just it came out as tears.
Yeah.
And it wasn't
Nah,
me.
that's real.
It wasn't me like crying and being a bitch. It was just like like I want to do good. Like I'm so invested in what I'm doing. Like that's how that's how my body interpreted it.
Yeah, I'm willing to shed tears behind this.
Right.
I get that, boy. I done cried over several games, bro. I cried that Kaiser game, the last game of that was because that was the last game of my career. Like that was I invested so much time since I might have since I was 5 and here I am at 23, just played my last game. It's 18 years, bro. 18 years of consistency of straight, you know what I'm saying? That's all I knew. And I cried over that Georgetown game, bro, this past season because we lost in the heartbreaker. Like it's just like I invested so much time and like my prep was for that moment to be able to enjoy that moment with my friends and the same guys that invested that much, invested the same that I invested into this, and to see us come up short, bro, like it hurts.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It hurts because you invested in that stuff, bro. The off season, like it ain't for everybody. If sports and all of that was for everybody, then everybody would play.
Right.
Everybody don't play sports, bro. If being a doctor was for everybody, everybody be a doctor. Everybody ain't no doctor, bro. That's why it's like you said, a dying breed.
Well, kind of going off what you're saying about like crying in certain situations, like I think a lot of men crying is like a level of intimacy that I don't think everybody is not capable, but everybody is
It's not in tune. They're not just not in tune with it.
not everybody's worth seeing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you find a man of like high integrity and like, would you say your cookie cutter like great man is? There's probably a very small list of people that's seen him cry.
Yeah.
So for me, like I don't think it's gonna benefit you if you just started talking to a girl and you're like crying or shit around her, because like I think to an extent she's gonna lose respect for you.
Yeah, it's like what you crying for?
Right.
Ain't he like you feel me?
Granted,
But
granted, you might even
up there
handle it
with
the
the
same
girl.
way, like time and place. Like I handled this situation, cry later, but like I think it's something you know. Like I knew when like me and Mateo was solid enough that I could shed a tear around her. Granted, there's only one time Mateo seen me, well, 2 times, seen me like sobbing, crying, like ugly crying. That was our wedding day and when we had Evie. Everything else has been like
Ooh.
tear, single tear. My wedding days were this would really fuck me up, bro. I was completely fine, bro. Like I'm supposed to be at the venue at 4:40. 4:35, I look at my phone like, oh shit, it's time to go. Walking down the hallway, I got like live pictures of me like cussing Q out for being stupid, like chopping it up, normal ass day.
Wait,
We're
can't go
standing,
nowhere without cutting
yeah,
that nigga out.
we're standing like on the side of like the setup, and my friend had taken a picture of my dad's seat, so we had like flowers set up and a picture of my dad. So I'm like, oh, bet I'm gonna go talk to him, bro. I get 5 feet from this chair. I'm like, like can't stop crying, and like I said, I don't know how to explain it. It's like something like I could feel him there. So I'm like crying so hard, tears are rolling off the inside of my glasses. And then I turn around and all my boys are crying, and I'm like, all right, let's lock it up. We look bad as
Come
a
on,
unit right now.
everybody, hey boys,
Yeah,
hey, oh.
yeah.
Everybody got this.
Granted,
Boy, hey.
same premise. Like, I don't think many people in that group had seen me cry like that. So they get the depth of the circumstances. So then
I bet
we get
that was
married. We do
cool,
our
bro.
spiel. Like I cry at the altar. Like it was just like I don't. I explained it like Matea told me jokingly, like if you don't cry, I'm gonna turn around and go back down the aisle. But like
I done heard
like
that too.
that feeling is different, and I think part of it too was kind of my dad being there and like saying like you better fucking cry, she's gonna turn around. So it's like
Yeah, you better give me something.
yeah,
I need something.
so I cry. She comes down, we do our thing. We're leaving, and it hits me again, bro. Like a overwhelming sense of like, damn, he missed this. So I'm crying more, and then it made for good pictures, but like the hardest I've cried in public ever. And then honestly, I think the Evie situation, like the only way I can describe it now is God. Like you could feel God in the room, and it was like this
Feeling, boy.
circumstance of like Evie coming out, and it looked like the doctor was gonna drop her. She like caught her like a football, and then I was concerned, but once I knew she was okay, I could hear her crying. Waterworks.
Yeah. She's like, hey, it's real nice.
It's just
It's
God.
a
Like you've been in a
yeah,
room and
bro.
felt like heaviness, like a bad feeling in
Mm-hmm.
your stomach. This is like the total opposite. Like it's light. Like there's something in that room
It's
that is bigger
happiness.
than you.
Happiness, peace, all of that, bro.
Yeah.
It's like all bottled in one, bro.
Also, this is
That's
how I knew
real.
Mateo was a gangster, bruh. She pushes his baby
Yeah.
out. I'll look at her, bro. Single tear rolls down her cheek. I'm like, yo, this
What?
woman is a
Like,
gangster.
all right,
Yeah,
cool,
literally.
cool, yeah, bro. All right, cool, shit.
But
Yeah,
yeah, no, I
bro.
think
Hey,
I
nah,
think
she valid, bro.
the intimacy of a man crying is something that not everybody should have the like opportunity to see. Because I think
Mhm.
where it's so granted not now as much, but like it's so rare for like those like the typical guys we've kind of been talking about to see them cry. So it's very intimate when you
Yeah.
do see them crying.
It takes even more, or it adds even more to the moment. Whether it's you hate for it to be sad moments, but tears of joy is the best
Right.
thing, bro. Like
Right.
when you see that, you like, oh, okay. So like this is like somebody I look up to. This
Right.
is somebody who I try to identify. Like I try to make my next steps directly how they made theirs. But
Because for you, like that situation, you were surrounded by guys that know how bought in you are. So they see you crying, they're like,
mhm,
okay, like he really, this is making him feel some type of way. Like it's very intimate, although it's like a public setting and it's like not typical for you to cry on the field. They know how bought you in you are because you
mhm.
showed intimacy in that situation.
I'm gonna tell you a person, and I'm gonna tell you a person who really got it, and I really appreciate our relationship. He's in here. I don't know if Luke's still in here, but Luke, bro, like Luke gets it. Like he gets it for real. Like it's something I've cried. Like I remember it was last year after we played Cumberland's Kentucky. We had just played them. I remember the uniforms. I remember what time the game started. I remember what we had on. We had on all black, bro. And I committed a penalty that ultimately, like I felt like it lost us the game. But you always as a competitor, you always put it
Right.
on your shoulders, bro.
Right.
You always put it on your shoulders, bro. I'm talking about I was a mess, bro. I remember I'm crying, bro. I cried in Luke's arms, bro. Like I like real, like it's real, bro. And he telling me like, hey, bro, you can't be so hard on yourself. He's like, I see how much this shit means to you. He's like, I see it. But he's like, you can't be too hard on yourself. It was plenty of plays that could have won or lost the game. It just so happened that the moment that you're looking at just so happened it just happened to you, bro. It could happen to anybody, and like that just made me like I've already appreciated Luke. We've always had a great relationship from 2019 up until what I'm saying to the present. We continue, but that really made me appreciate it. It really made me understand, like, bro, if don't nobody else get it, bro, Luke get it. You know what I'm saying? And then he even texted me the next morning, checking up on me. He did it after Georgetown game too. He seen I was a mess after that game too this season. You know what I'm saying? So like he's a person who gets it, bro. So yeah, big shout out to Luke, man.
For
He was
sure.
a big part of this journey to get me across the stage the first time, and he probably don't think he is now, but he's a big part of getting me across the stage the second time too. So big shout outs to Luke Kopp, man.
Hell yeah. Big ups.
From
Big
uh
ups.
from West V, what I'm saying? West V in the highs. But nah, yeah, man, he a big part of it, bro. He valid.
So, how much do you account like your successes and failures? Like, how much of those do you feel like is God working for you?
I feel like everything I do is a big ups to God. You know what I'm saying? I feel like every position I'm put in and everything I do is ordained by God, bro. So me from me tearing my ACL and from me tearing my ACL and then having to come back from that, bro. Like I feel like everything that I do is ordained in God, bro. So like even my biggest mistakes, my biggest failures, I feel like He put those in my life for me to either calm me down in certain situations or to open my eyes in certain situations. I feel like there's never anything that God has done for me that has not been for not had a silver lining under, like not been like, hey, I put this in your life so you can see, like, hey,
Right.
like lock in, or like with the ACL thing, I feel like he I feel like I hated it. I hate getting injured, missing it, but it made missing games and missing practices and all that stuff, but it made me appreciate my time in Pikeville because it made me have the outlook of, bro, everybody not doing this. Everybody not at a 4-year institution playing football.
For sure.
Everybody's not in the position you in. Like you're blessed. And I felt like at that time I was kind of taking it. I was kind of taking it for granted and like kind of like going through the motions or whatever. I'm not perfect. I've done it before. We've all done it. But I've kind of going through the motions and like, just taking it like, oh yeah, I gotta do football. I've looked at it as I gotta do football, not as I get to do football.
Right.
And God, he went ahead and showed me like, hey, what I'm saying, you taking this for granted, I can take this away from you, just like that. If you don't start really appreciating and locking in to this blessing that I've bestowed upon you. So I feel like everything, the successes and failures, bro, is straight God, bro.
I think
Like,
one thing too that I see a lot of is like people ask for things expecting to just get them. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
they want to be patient, they ask for patience, but God doesn't do that. God gives you
no,
opportunities to become patient.
opportunities to become patient or opportunities to display your patience. It gives you those are like they all out there,
Yeah. I
but it's
mean,
just what you're gonna do with it.
even like reading the Bible, bro. Like, there's so many people that like like just off the top of my head, like you have like Job, who's like
Mm-hmm.
does everything right, has all these good things that come his way, and then they get taken from him, and he asks God like, why me? And God says, why not you? I know you have faith in me, and I know regardless of how many things I take away from you, you're still gonna love me and worship
Yeah,
me.
that
So
faith.
why not you?
So I'm gonna take it from you. I'm gonna bring you something bigger. I'm gonna multiply everything that I
Right.
just took from you by 10.
Right.
It always happens like that. It's just like God's way of like, okay, you say you got faith in me. You say all these things. You portray like you say this faith, you preaching faith to other people. Let me see how much faith you got. Let me go ahead and take
Right.
away everything you don't work for real quick. And let's see if you keep that faith. You keep that faith, I'm gonna bring it back to you times 50.
Because
I just
like
want to see if you
ultimately,
got it like
like
you say
the
you do.
book is full of tests.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's more like the key root is testing. Like, okay, you say you believe me. How much do you believe me?
How
Go
much?
go. So like, I just learned today that a lot of religions ask for sacrifice, like for sacrifices, like
Mm-hmm.
sacrifice your firstborn son for me, whatever.
Yeah.
So like one of God's things was like, I'll never ask you to do that. And then God turns around and he's like, hey, go sacrifice your kid on this mountain for me. So they
Let me
get to the
just see.
point, and he's like, it wasn't even like, a, are you sure? He was like, okay, I got you.
Mm-hmm.
So like had everything set, and right before he was about to put his son up there and sacrifice him, God said, "Hey, don't do that. I just wanted to see if he was really bought into what I'm telling you."
Just want to see. Just want to see, bro. Like, come on, bro. I never asked you to do nothing and not bring you something back,
Right.
bro. Like it's just one of those
And
things,
it's
bro.
like again, getting back to the only way to fix where we're at right now is we got to start loving everybody.
Mm-hmm.
There's not one person
Like,
in any of the Bible that was different from somebody else that wasn't loved by Jesus. Honestly,
to
don't
make
even follow.
them,
Just don't follow religion, bro. Just read Jesus' word and go off of that. That's how you should act. Love
yeah.
everybody.
It,
Treat everybody as better than you would want to be treated, and you'd be surprised how
but it
much you get out of life that way.
and it's so simple, but yet people make it so complicated. It's a story old as time, bro. People overcomplicate it. It don't cost, bro. Loving somebody and not judging and just being a good person is absolutely free.
But also that
Free.
the simplest way to see that though that's the case is like people don't want to have conversations. Oh, you believe this, or you voted for this person. I don't want to talk to you.
I don't want to
You don't
talk
have
to
to
you. I
agree
don't
with
have
everything
anything.
they're doing. I'm sure biblical times people didn't agree with people being prostitutes, but Jesus didn't care. Jesus asked some prostitutes for water, and they were like, "You don't want water from me?" And Jesus was like, "No, I do. I know you. I love you."
Exactly. But people so closed minded, so box minded, that wanting to worry about what the person to their left got going on and what the person to their right got going on, instead of saying I love you and I love you. Now let me focus on what God says planned for me that's right in front of me.
Granted,
Everybody miss
like
their blessings because they're
I,
looking left, right, and
it's
behind, bro.
something that I feel like is normal to struggle with. Like nobody's perfect. Nobody's gonna be God,
Nope. It's only one of them.
but it's a matter of trying to get to that point. Like if you can push yourself to be better every day in a sense of it's a shameless plug right there. Be better than yesterday. But
Mm-hmm.
what what am I doing that would be frowned upon. Okay, let me take steps to fix it. Let me implement better habits in my life. Let me have conversations with people that I don't necessarily agree with, and just tell them that, like, granted, like, I feel like love is now a weird thing. Like, you should say I love you to somebody, they'd be like, okay, weirdo. But like,
Yeah, type.
but like, you'd be surprised, especially for men, how much a man gets out of saying like, I see you, I appreciate you. You'd be surprised how much you get out of that. Like, especially like, I make a point to text those people that I'm now. Granted, I'm not gonna say it to everybody. Like, in the
Yeah, for
sense
sure.
of like, I'm not gonna go to some random dude and be like, I appreciate you, because I don't know him well enough to say that. Or like, I see what you're doing, and I see you. You know what I'm saying? Because
Mm.
I could say that to somebody that I don't know, and they're doing all the wrong shit. In the sense of like, beating their girlfriend or whatever it may be.
Yeah,
So in that sense, it's just God bless. Like, you
yeah,
know what I'm saying? Like, find God, I'm with you. Like, you doing
for sure.
okay? How you doing? You know. But my
Love a long way.
homeboys, it's definitely like, I see you. Like, you out here working 80-hour weeks and you're busting your ass to take care of your family. I see you. I appreciate you.
For sure. Because it take a real man to do that, bro. Everybody not wired. It's a lot of dad be dads. There's a lot of mugs that done walked out on their family when their family needs them the most, and they know their family need them, and
Right.
somehow in their mind they convince themselves that walking out is the okay thing to do. It's something that I never understand, but I can't say I'm not. That's not even something I'm trying to understand because that's not something that I can see myself doing as a man. That's something I would never do as a man. Now I get it. What I'm saying? I get it. What I'm saying? You walking out or not, you get with a woman, y'all have a baby, you and a woman don't work out. I get that. But your ties are not to that woman. Your ties are to that child that you can see.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Well, I think it
So
depends
like
on on the circumstance. I feel like if you go to the step to get married because you have a kid, you ultimately, one, did you married for the wrong reason,
exactly.
but two,
Start
you
there.
made that commitment.
Hmm.
So, being a man of God, when I see you're married, okay, then you have to love your wife, regardless of whatever it may be, more than Jesus Christ loved the church. That's your. That's Yes, your vows may say X, Y, Z, but that is what you're
Yeah.
vowing to. You're vowing to that woman.
Hmm.
Granted, I
Without a
know
doubt.
that not every woman has the same integrity and the same sense of standing that my wife does. I get that.
Hmm.
Not every woman's the same. Understandable.
No. That's what makes
However,
them so different. I mean, it's so
yeah,
beautiful though. Like,
right.
you know what I'm saying?
However, that's one understanding me and Mateo have is like, there's only one way out of this, in that box.
Sure. Yeah. The death do us part for real.
But ultimately, like, I think part of getting, granted, I wasn't like I need to follow religion. It was like I could feel God in my life, but I was just with my struggling of trying to understand why there was a divide. So once I tore that barrier
Hmm.
down, like, I see deeper connection with Mateo now. You want me to?
Yeah,
I'll
sure.
read you the text I sent Mateo today. Now, great. If you had asked me 4 years ago if I was sending this text, I would have said absolutely not. But here's the text I sent you. So I
Yeah,
said,
I know TJ from 4 years ago. I know.
so for me, I have, I feel like I have two thoughts in my head. I have a thought of like, you should do this. That's me. That's like a human brain thought. And then I have thoughts that I feel like God is talking to me and I need to tell people. So
Hmm.
like, it happened a lot where I'm like sitting there, I'm like, I talk to myself, but it's more like I'm having a conversation with God, and like it could be
Yeah.
about anything. And then I'll get this seed of like, you need to say this to the group chat or whatever. So I'll send it to men's group chat, my Bible study. But today I'm watching TikToks and I have this thought like, you need to do this. So I texted Matei. I said, I feel like God put the seed in me today, so bear with me. I appreciate you and adore you so much. I'm so appreciative for everything you do for me and E. When I began to manifest the life I wanted, I never could have pictured the blessings God had in store for me, for you to be the person I spend the rest of my life with. I want you to know I vow to live every day to do the most I can for you and E. I can't promise perfection, but I can promise you, regardless of how good or bad things are, I'm always going to love you as much as Christ loved the church. You're something that I never knew was possible, and the fact that God has given me the opportunity to be someone you confide in and rely on is one of the best blessings I've ever received. I can't promise that God I can't promise what God has in store for us, but please understand that I will run miles over broken glass to make sure you and Evie are taken care of. I love you so much, Matea, and thank you for loving me so well. I know it's not easy. I'm I'm great because she texted and asked if I was okay, so I had to throw I'm great in there. I don't
Yeah,
see how life can get any better. And the best thing about giving my life to Christ is that I have the opportunity to share eternal life with you. I love you endlessly. So,
nah,
again,
you definitely.
the fact that I've given my life to Christ and I know like his plan is bigger than my plan. God had his plan for me a while ago.
Hmm.
Like even if you hear me,
It's
so like
always been the
you don't know
plan,
the
bro.
gist of me and Mateo's story. Like you get the like you've heard how we met, whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
My freshman year, I'm coming to college. I've never been anywhere close to Mateo, where Mateo's from. Okay, my freshman
Hmm.
year, I'm traveling to school to move in. Car loaded up. I blow a tire in the middle of nowhere. I take the next exit, and I'm at this tire shop, whatever, get my tire replaced. 5 years later, me and Matea's driving in Georgetown, her hometown, and I'm like, I've been there. She's like, where? And I was like, the tire shop. The
Uh-huh.
tire shop that I stopped at my freshman year before I even met Matea or knew she existed is in Matea's hometown. So
Right there.
for me, that is God. Like those are seeds that God is planting. Like you don't know why this is significant, but eventually you'll know.
It'll become, or it'll be. It's always significant, but the understanding of the
And I feel
significance
like
is, yeah,
everybody, to a sense, has those seeds where they just like blow past them because it's just like normal shit, like normal things that happen
yeah,
in life, and then eventually you can make the connection of where you're at and what that means. You know what I mean?
yeah. That's valid because I know, like, bro, when you was on the way to school, bro, you wasn't thinking like, oh, I'm gonna stop at this tire shop. Not you, not even thinking like, bro, the mother of my child,
Right?
my future wife, is in this town right now. You
Yeah.
just thinking, I need to get this damn tire fixed so I can go, so I can get to school, so I can move in, bro.
Yeah.
That's all you was thinking about. That's lit though. I like that. That's
And
lit,
then like
bro.
just the connection. So like first time I go to meet Terry's parents, I pull in her driveway, big ass HVAC van. My
Mm-hmm.
dad did HVAC his entire life.
What? I know the world ain't boy. Small world.
So so you could tell me like God doesn't have a hand in everything you do, but I totally disagree.
I'm telling you. That's why. That's why. That's why when you asked me that, I was very adamant on like, bro, everything, my successes, my failures, everything. God has a hand in it, bro. And it's just for me to figure out like why it's been why like figure out the significance, like you just said, the significance me of me tearing my ACL, the significance of me, you know what I'm saying, not do whatever, bro. Like just the significance of life, period. Like you just got to figure that out because it's there. It's definitely there.
But also too, like from that sense, I feel like people who aren't religious, things happen and that's God testing you. Like I'm here. You
Mm-hmm.
say the word. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's like when you was in high school and you wouldn't get no PT and you was standing right
Yeah.
next to coach with your helmet on, button up. You were like, "Hey, coach, I'm
Like,
right here.
hey,
I'm right here."
whenever you ready, if you need somebody,
Yeah. The
you know
second
what I'm
they
saying.
say,
I'm
"Oh,
gonna stand right.
I need a safety." All right, I'm already in there. My shit's already on, coach. Say no more.
Don't even play safety.
Right?
Get your
Yeah.
ass. Come on, put
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
ass over here.
So like
You an
that's God.
offensive lineman. Big boy.
Like
Come on.
here's the challenge, and you think you're gonna do it alone, or you are gonna do it alone, but God's right there. Like you say my name, I'm right there. What you need.
The
Granted, He's
crutch.
not gonna do it for you.
The crutch.
The crutch. He's not gonna
The
do it for
crutch,
you.
bro.
He's gonna help.
Nah. Oh yeah, for sure. The crutch ain't walking for you. The crutch is there to provide assistance as you walk.
So like
The crutch,
the
like I'm finna like, oh
yeah
my god, that's so applicable, bro. Like I can apply that to
yeah
everything.
that hey
Oh
that
my
is a pro. I gotta
god,
write that down
bro.
because I came up with that on the spot. That was nice.
Bro, like, yeah, that's ooh, that
But
was
for
good
like
for you.
the thought of like I told Rob last week I was like he asked me if there was a I asked him if there was a verse that he was scared of. So like a lot of
Mhm.
people that are Christians are scared of depart from me, I never knew you. That they said
Mhm.
it keeps them up at night. For me, that's not the case. Because ultimately, I know through like my study and all everything, I know that God loves me regardless.
For sure.
So in that sense, if I fail him and he sends me to hell, it's not because he wants to. It's because I failed him.
Exactly.
It's like when you was a kid and you got in trouble for something and your parents told you that they wasn't mad, they was just disappointed. Like that shit hurts more than anything.
But I'd rather you be mad at me and beat my ass.
Right.
Don't tell me this. Don't tell me you're disappointed, because like I'm like, damn. Now I'm finna go in the room and just look at the ceiling. I don't even wanna. Ain't no, you feel me?
Right.
But
So you'll get more like you I feel like that verse alone will stick with you more like the more you grow your family and
mhm,
you'll get a better sense of like I don't want to discipline my kids. I want them to do right. But at the same time, if a man of high integrity says this is the word and then you don't listen, he ain't about to just
you
fold.
gotta
He's gonna stand firm on his word. He tells you what to do.
exactly, and you didn't listen.
And even okay, so I don't think this is the case, but even if God's not real, okay, I know he's not. You know he or I know he's real. You know he's real.
Yeah, for sure.
But if that's the case, and God's not real, and we die, and it's just black,
hmm
if we follow God and His teachings, do we really live a bad life?
There's no way, no way that you did live a bad life. If you follow, like if you take those steps, I don't think there's a way that you lived a bad life, and I know you don't as well. Like there's no way you can.
So like
You
if that's your turmoil with religion in the sense of like, well, I think it's just a cop out. Like, what if it's not real? Okay, at least I lived a life of full of love and compassion for others. And granted, I think there's people that call themselves Christians who aren't actively listening to what's God's saying. I think they nitpick too
oh, for
much and
sure.
the judgment's too much and they always want to tell somebody they're doing wrong and they're not looking in the mirror. I think there's plenty of Christians that's like that. But for
Oh yeah, for
me,
sure.
granted, I'm not perfect by any means, and I make mistakes. I cuss, and it's definitely something that I'm
hmm
working on. Um,
Oh yeah.
I'm really gonna take. Honestly, today I've done really good about cussing a little until we got on the podcast, and then we started chopping it up
That's
tonight.
some.
But
That's on me.
the
But that's how we.
the
That's we
yeah,
just bring it out of each other, bro.
but I'm trying to cut back on the cussing for Lent. That's my goal. Um,
Mhm.
I think one of my goals too, especially like going to Apca and seeing how things have played out recently, they've changed a lot. I got to bring God back into programming on college's campus. It's so far from whatever. Not saying that the program is bad because it's not, but like there's people winning lifetime achievement awards and not mentioning God one time. Like that don't sit right with me.
But my thing is, bro, like, and I know, this is a question for you, bro.
And
Like,
again, not bashing. I just, in
how?
my opinion, I feel
No,
like
no, for sure.
if you win an award like that,
You gotta
God should be
like
mentioned. Like you wouldn't
because you
be in a
didn't do it by
position.
yourself.
Yeah.
But with that, I know you said you want to incorporate it, back into in the program and stuff. But how? Because people these days, bro, people, it's not got to the point, and it's ridiculous, honestly. But people want to take God and make it offensive, especially if they don't believe in it or whatever. So my question to you is, how do you plan on taking those steps without offending anybody? How I don't know how it could be offensive because it's not offensive to me,
Right.
but I just want to hear like because you gotta like it's not just fellow Christians that you're talking to. You might be talking to somebody who might not believe in it, atheist, what I'm saying, agnostic, whatever. It's you could be talking to either one of those groups or a person that just believes in something other different, like a different religion altogether. So
Yeah.
how do you like what's the steps of that,
So
bro?
I don't want to give you the whole spiel because
Yeah,
again,
yeah,
like
not for sure.
it's something I'm gonna to build out. But ultimately, Luke kind of say, Luke said that you're ahead of him on the question. So for me, I know, I like being a part of APCA and seeing how the wheels move and how stuff goes.
Mhm.
Not everybody's, not what everybody's selling is everybody's cup of tea. So
For
like
sure.
for my group this year alone, there were speakers that went up and they were like, absolutely not bringing them to campus, and that might be the case. But ultimately, I know if I have that platform, kind of like going off what I said earlier about the phone, you'd be able to reach millions of people. I'm doing God a disservice if I don't at least try to get the word out there. It might not resonate with people, and that's cool. But at least I said I gave you the stepping stones. Now, granted, it's more like you can teach somebody a way to lead and tie it into religion without them having to, like they're at least gonna get something out of it. You feel me? Like they don't have to
For
believe in
sure.
Jesus Christ. Um, Honestly, I think the tie up there is with the religion aspect. So like
Yeah.
different beliefs, okay, but at the same time, everybody knows Jesus Christ.
Hmm.
And to an extent, regardless of what your beliefs are, you should understand the beliefs that Jesus stood for, loving everybody and showing compassion and leading with compassion. The ground rules are there in the sense of like this is how you can be a good leader. People are going to benefit from you leading this way without you shoving religion down somebody's throat and saying this is the way or you're going to hell.
Got you.
And even if that's like,
Okay.
because like I started my session at APCA by saying, hey, as you can tell, I'm not your typical speaker. I have a polo not tucked in and Jordans on. That's not my spiel. I ain't about to talk to you like you're 4 years old. That's not what we're doing here. I'm going to have a real conversation with you. So
Let's
even if that's
do
a
it. Yeah.
conversation, like,
So
look, if you're uncomfortable with talking about Jesus, I get it. Just bear with me. I'm going to tie it into leadership. You might not believe in it. That's cool.
but just
But
hear
for
me out.
me personally, as a Christian, I feel like I'm doing a disservice to my God if I don't at least try to spread His word. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
But even
Nah, that's
like I was
valid.
talking to one of the people on the trip this year, and they're Christian. 15 something people won awards. I was like, how many people do you think mentioned God? I think they ended up saying like 7. Definitely, definitely overshot. 0 people out of 15 said anything about God, and that don't sit right with me.
And these ain't just like Rudy Poo, just
Well, some
participation.
of
These are
them, like
lifetime.
yeah, some of them is like,
But still, though, any type of recognition, though, if anytime you getting recognized for something that you didn't like, because bro, like you said, nobody comes up with this on their own, bro. Like nobody, like everybody, God has a hand in this. Like God has a hand in it. You didn't just come up with the idea like Steve Jobs. Let's go ahead and talk. Everybody got an iPhone. Steve
yeah,
Jobs didn't come up with Apple, MacBook, iPad, Apple pencils. He didn't come up with this. Oh well, I'm just gonna make a phone and call it Apple. No,
yeah.
he didn't come up with the idea how to put that whole project together and it turned into $1 billion
Actually,
corporation.
I saw a conspiracy theory that would kind of blow your mind.
Oh, here we go. Talk to me.
So going off the Apple thing, I seen something. I mean, you know the book of Genesis, the creation,
Mm-hmm.
Adam and Eve. She takes a bite of the apple. At that point, the world's no longer as holy as it was when God made it. Apple's got a bite taken out of the apple. Also, the I can't remember which like the name of it because it's like a whatchamacallit, like it's like a whole bunch of letters that mean something. But like one of the main forces that like decides on like what's healthy for Americans is a snake on a tree. Like
What you
there's
talking about? The I guess the WHO, World Health Organization. Is that
yeah,
what you
like
talking
yeah, but it's like
about? Yeah.
their main logo is like
The logo,
is a snake on a tree.
just like the stick with the little circles. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
It makes sense.
and no, so look, I talked to Rob about this last week, but I seen something which I think is that, granted, very American, but I
Mm-hmm.
seen something that God has been weaponized, like Christian based gods have been weaponized by American people to like as like a like we as like Christianity is the most practiced religion in America,
Yeah.
but it's been weaponized to make it seem like it's only an American thing. Like nobody else believes in Christianity. That's not the case.
No.
So like they've
It might be
like you've
different
seen
forms of it, but
you've seen like the blind blue eyed Jesus. Like
mm-hmm.
they've Americanized Jesus to benefit America. In reality, Jesus isn't even from America.
It may yeah. Like I've heard, like I've seen that, I've heard it, of course, but I,
But when I heard that, I was like, damn.
That's real,
because
bro.
we get so, and that's where the sense of like, what ain't it ain't happening here, so I don't really care. That's where that comes from.
Yeah,
In reality, we're all all God's children, so we should care.
everybody, every single one of us. Yeah, that's like natural disasters, bro. Like we just went through the floods and all of that stuff, and it's easy for people on it. What I mean, I can't say Cali because they got their own situation they're going through, but people in Montana to be like, oh, I heard there was some flooding down there in Eastern Kentucky. I heard half of damn California's on fire. I look out my window, I don't see nothing but my grass field, so I'm good. That's kind of like that, bro.
Yeah,
Like, but yeah, that's another thing. It's that love aspect of it. Like we should all care. Everybody should give a fuck, bro, because like you said, we all God's children. And although it's not affecting us like right now, it's not affecting us in our face. It's affecting somebody, one of our brothers and sisters.
right.
So
And then like I just
it's
seen
one of
a
those things.
TikTok about this pastor in Atlanta. I think it's predominantly black church, but like he was talking about
Mm-hmm.
how they couldn't do a service because the city was like trying to kick them out of the building because of like parking
Yo, uh huh,
and like they had too many people showing up to sermons or something. So the city was like, "Yeah,
yeah,
y'all got to be out by this time." So like they're trying to figure out how they could raise 15 million to get this property that's gonna fit everybody. And it's
yeah.
like, how do I help? That's the sense though. Like I couldn't go out. I got a 10-month-old. Like what I look like going out and getting sick, helping flood clean up. Let me find a way to help.
Yeah, nah, that's valid, bro. But it's not so much as a saying like all because I'm what? Hold up, cuz.
I'll meet you. Go ahead.
I bet.
We'll go ahead. I'll go ahead and run an ad. All right, we're back.
But nah, bro, like we were saying, like, you got your baby, so all because and it's different forms, it's different forms of helping. You feel me? Like all because you're not in the field. That's like saying like, oh, all because you ain't got no dirt on you. That obviously means you hadn't been working. You ain't got no dirt, you ain't got no mud on you. So you couldn't have been working. No. You could have no dirt and no mud on you, but have put in the most
Right.
work. All because you got like what? All because you got that's like that's like somebody going to a football game, or you at a football game, or you playing in a football game, and somebody say you ain't it's a muddy game or whatever, and somebody say, oh bro, you ain't worked hard, you ain't got no dirt on your uniform, but you just had 15 catches, 100 and 200 yards and 3
Right.
touchdowns. You're like, what? Like I
Yeah.
just had like what? It's like saying like, oh, you ain't got no dirt on you, so you could like. But it's different forms of helping, bro.
Yeah.
Like all because you're not out there picking shit out the river or whatever the case may be, or cleaning up. That don't mean you're not helping, bro.
Right.
There's different forms of it.
But like I think too, like one thing I did, it was just like time and place. So like I went and got food one day. I'm at Subway. EMT
Hmm.
comes in talking about how he been working like 48 hours on shift.
Hmm.
I bought his food, didn't say nothing, just left. I don't need a notoriety. Like you doing
Nope.
something to help the community. I can't physically be out there helping. You're doing it. Let me help you.
Boom. And that's helping. It's like branches, like a tree. It's helping through somebody else, bro. Cause you know what I'm saying, maybe and it wasn't much, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't nothing crazy. It
Right.
ain't like you handing a $1 million check or whatever the case may be, but it's help from the sense of like this one less thing that they got to worry about because they already got a million
Right.
responsibilities, like working 48 hours, bro. Like, come on now, like That's a tall task. That's 2 days straight,
Right.
no sleep.
And then
You know what I'm saying? So like,
you get like certain shit will like play into societal means. So like for
mhm,
me and Mateo's out to dinner, like right after flood. I see a PPD officer and his family eating dinner. He's on call, car running, radio on, right? This
mhm.
man, now granted, he might not be doing everything right at home. He might be, whatever. But I
Whatever. But
see
that's
him
yeah.
putting in effort. So not only are you on duty right now, you probably been running crazy, but you take the time to put your family first and have dinner with them.
Mhm.
So I got you. I paid for their dinner, left, didn't say a word. I'm not about to like make a big scene out of it. Like, oh, I paid for you. Say something like
Yeah. Hey,
I'm
hey. Yeah.
volunteer.
I just
I don't need that.
I got your meal. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Nah.
don't need that. My
Them
thing
be the most
is
genuine people, bro.
where like going off of what I said. My plans is to make sure my family's comfortable. I've I have the base there. Like, granted, stuff's about to change. We're about to go through some changes, but like I have money put away for Evie. I have like a safety net. If something happens to me, the family's taken care of. My next phase of money is going to be philanthropy. Like once my family, like once we got a house and like we are taken care of, and I know we're comfortable, I will be giving money to whoever needs it, like community members,
Yep.
whatever. Because ultimately, the way I see it is, God's blessed me with the opportunity to have more money than my parents had, and in that sense of yeah, like part of it is like I am self aware. Like that was the thing. We didn't have money. I get it, but at the same time, God, I could have that way of thinking, but still be broke, and I'm not.
For sure.
So like God's blessed me
Nah.
enough to be like, hey, like here's this, do great things with it.
It's like that. It's like that boy. That boy Adam Sandler, bro. Like him and you seen all the stuff. Like bro. Every movie Adam Sandler got tens of thousands, hundreds of movies. You know what I'm saying that he done been the producer of. He's made up himself, bro. Him and his wife live out 10% of his salary, and the rest of it he giving to charity and he giving back to the people, bro. Like you just seen him at the what was it, the Grammys.
Yeah,
He in the Grammys, he got on a hoodie or a little zip up, and he got on a t-shirt and some gym shorts, some sneakers on. His fit probably cost $70, bro, $70 to $80. And this man, he's got to be, if he's not already there, he's got to be a billionaire. You feel me? He got it. Like he has enough money to where he could pull up in $100,000 suit.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Jewelry. You know what I'm saying? Shining. $1 million watch. You know what I'm saying? He could do that if he wanted to, but
right,
that's not what he
right.
about, bro.
Now, granted,
You
I
know
ain't
what I'm
going
saying? So,
like my thing was I used to not spend money unless I had a like if I was spending money, I was putting a certain amount of money in my savings account.
mhm.
So granted, talking to my financial advisor, she's like, you don't need to put any more money in savings. She's like, why are you saving? And I was like, I've been in a situation where I didn't have it. Like,
Yeah, it make you appreciate it
right.
more, bro.
So she's like, let's try to like build out a portfolio that puts money into like investing, and you can grow your money without putting it in a savings account that ain't getting no interest. And
Yeah,
I see that as opportunity. Like if I put Ross in and they grow over time, then it's money that we'll have to buy a house or to pay for EV school or whatever. So that
yeah. We
sense,
talked about that a little bit.
it's gonna
Yeah,
transition from okay, if I'm gonna buy something nice, then I'm gonna make sure opposed to saving it. Like when I have the money that is making sure that everybody's like my people's taken care of, then my focus is gonna be okay. I want to buy this. Well, I'm gonna donate or I'm gonna give however much it's costing more to somebody that needs it.
hmm So
So like if you see me with the presidential on, don't say nothing because I took care of some people to get that.
I'm gonna say I already know. I'm gonna be like he wouldn't have spent it if he didn't already put in a little bit of, he didn't already take care of, some other folks. Now I'm already knowing though. And don't get me wrong, I ain't saying it's bad to get anything nice for yourself. Don't get me wrong. I want to have nice things, bro. Like ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with doing nice things for your children, wife, any of that, bro. But you know what I'm saying? Is that at a point in time, at a point in time, you have to know like when is
Right.
enough, or when can I start giving, what I'm saying, start helping other people. Because like at a point in time, like I don't know anybody that could wake up and spend $1 billion in a day, $1 billion in a
I
day.
don't think it's
People can
possible.
people can run through a million a day,
Uh,
just depending on what you're
Bro,
doing. But depending on what
the
you're doing, it's
Sidemen's
gonna be
been doing
hard.
that. They've been doing that $1 million challenge. They did that on Christmas. They had $1 million challenge.
Uh huh.
They still didn't crack a meal, And it's
They
like
didn't.
what 6 dudes trying to spend money, try to equal 1 million. So they broke it up like every person in the group had to spend a certain amount of money.
Yeah.
Granted, they kind of cheated it. So like a couple of them guys have like nonprofits like charity things. So like they'd spend a certain amount and then put that money into like a donation. So like they got close, but closer than they would just buying random shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay, so it is hard to spend
Yeah.
a million a day then. So you okay? Maybe I don't know.
I
Maybe
think
a
a lot of
hundred
people.
thousand.
Granted, a million don't seem like a lot in society because we have like 34 bill. Like there's a guy with $34 billion. So like a million doesn't seem like a lot, but you could do a lot of shit with $1 million.
Give me a million. Watch what I
I
do
mean,
with
look at
it.
like your higher end cars that you could buy like from any dealership. Like look at like I just drove a Wagoneer. That's an $80,000 car. eighty
Stuff
thousand
like
dollars
that.
ain't putting a dent in a million. Are
That's
we
the
talking?
SUV, ain't it?
Yeah, nice. 3 row
Yeah.
seats. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
nice as hell. But $80,000 ain't putting a dent in a million.
No, but you still got what? I ain't no math. Got what? 920.
Yeah, like
Like you still got to go through that. Boy, you ain't even cracked 100K. Like
because I
man,
mean, like
yo,
even
bro.
if I was to get so you get $1 million, like tax free, like straight $1 million in your bank account.
Straight million.
What are you doing with it?
I'm finna go first. I'm gonna try my best. I'm gonna put some money to investments. I got to go get my mom house after that. I got to get my mom house. I'm gonna take care of the fam, and that still might not even put. I still might have what 500,000 to play with when I'm done. 600,000 to play with. So I'm gonna take care of my house, of course. Maybe that's 400,000. The rest of I don't know, bro. I don't know. I wanna see. I always tell my homeboys, I'm going to get me a track car. I'm going to get me a Hellcat. You know, I
Well, I
got
mean,
to
still, that's only 100,000.
exactly
So
Hellcat. It all depends on what you want, but it
so
might be like
that's half a million.
70,000. And I still got more. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, bro. It's so many things you want when you ain't got it, but as soon as you get it, you like, oh, I want to do this. I want to
Yeah.
do this. I know my family gonna be taken care. Like, I know they gonna like they're gonna get taken care of regardless, bro. Like I'm talking about, I'm getting Nana a car. She gonna get a crib. Little brother, well, he ain't even old enough to drive, but I'm gonna put some money aside for him. You know, college stuff
Nothing
you want to
crazy,
do.
like 20,
Nah,
like 20
nah,
bags.
nothing.
You can get a nice
That's
car for
it.
20,000.
Exactly.
Starter
I
car,
had to
little
start from
Honda
somewhere. Yeah,
Civic. Yeah,
I had to start from somewhere too. So I don't care
better
if I got it.
better than yours, but not like brand new
Yeah,
off the lot type. Yeah,
it ain't gonna be. I ain't gonna get him. I ain't gonna put him in no beater now. I ain't gonna do that. But you know what I'm saying, it's gonna be good enough to where he like, all right, cool,
yeah,
yeah. But brother, brand new car, he getting the crib. Mama, she getting whatever she want. Crib, she probably don't want them. She got a house, so I don't know. But now I don't know. She can get her a bigger crib if she want it, house, car, whatever she want, bro. Like she can get that, bro. And the rest of it, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna take care of, like, you know, the people who looked out for me. I got a couple of coaches who I definitely break bread with because they were, you know, big pieces into, you know, making me the man I am right now. So got a couple of coaches I break bread with, you know what I'm saying? So
for sure. No, I
just
think
like that, bro.
a lot is similar. A lot of similar. I got to get my brother out of the situation he in now.
Hmm. I'm
Uh,
paying debts too. I'm paying debts. I forgot about that. I'm paying debts. Whatever debts the family got, I'm getting
yeah.
not even saying that that's your brother's situation, but I'm paying, like, I
Well,
know
no,
my
see,
family might
like
have a couple of
for
debts,
me
but
though, like I want to put people in a, cause like yeah, you can do that, but at the same time, I feel like especially for if I give my boy money to pay off his debt, what
Mhm.
ultimately what is that benefiting him? If instead I could give him money to start his own business to make his own money to pay off his debts, you get me?
pay off his debt and then make more and then
Right,
some.
milk
Yeah,
him,
that's valid. That's valid.
make him self sufficient. So like I want to get
Yeah.
my brother out of his spot, put some money, nothing crazy. Like I ain't about to buy him a house, but like
Yeah.
get him some bread, let him, rent, get a little car, get him from A to B. For me
And
though,
whatever you do
like
from
house
that
when it
point is
comes
on
to
him.
house, bro, I'm real simple plan, and it's the cookie cutter way of like being smart about money. I'm gonna buy a plot of
Hmm.
land. I'm gonna build like a barnuminium style house on it, 200,000 like max. So like it's gonna be a nice house. It's gonna be built from scratch on my own piece of land. Cool. Probably put 25% into some type of investment, Roth, probably some high yield, long term.
Hmm.
So what I'm at 450.
Just been two, about yeah, not even a half yet.
Right. So 450, probably. I want to get my brother a nice car, but not a car that he's gonna fucking street race in and end up killing himself in.
Yeah.
So probably throw him like 30, 30 for a car, probably a little bit more than that. Just rent, make sure rent's taken care of until he get on his feet. And then the rest of that, I'd say whatever's left, I'm gonna cut half of that, donate it. The other half, I'm gonna kind of split up like what what my people need. So like, okay, you don't like your job. Like one of my boys hates what he's doing. He has plans of what he's doing. He just ain't there yet. He got 3 kids.
Yeah.
So let me take care of you. Let me get you to a point where you know your family's taken care of and you can focus on X, Y, and Z and building your own shit. Cause me paying bills for him, what's that gonna last? However many months I'm paying the bills, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Then he back to paying him himself and doing, you know what I'm saying?
Same premise as you can teach a man to fish.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You know that saying?
So what is you teach a man to fish, but what?
Well, you could teach a man to cook a fish and he eats for a day, but you teach a man to fish and he eats for life.
Yeah.
Something like that. That's close.
Yeah, it makes the idea of it. Yeah, it makes sense.
But that's how I see it. Like for me, if somebody was to do something for me and they was like, "Hey, I just paid off your student loans," I'd be grateful. But like at the same time, like that wasn't for you to do. That's my I'm the one that acquired that. Like you're paying $25,000 for my loans. Let me just get the $25K. Let me make that triple. Because at that point, granted, if somebody giving me money, I'm gonna make sure they get it back and some. So invest in me opposed to paying off my debts. Because like you're relieving some of my stress, but at the same time, like why? You know what I mean?
Yeah. At the end of the day, I mean, like you said, it's relieving stress. One less thing I got to worry about, but I'm kind of trying to see that
And
light at the end of the tunnel. That don't mean you're not grateful for it, but
for me, my debt is the least of my concern. I could care less. Sure. It's gonna get paid off,
regardless.
So like, I'd much rather you throw me some money so I can actually focus on what I want to be focusing on, and not having all these split ideas of what I want to do. You know what I mean?
And having to equally distribute,
right.
You know what I'm saying, or distribute the best you can. Yeah, I feel that. I'm with you on that.
But yeah, no, $1 million is you just doing the math alone. You've seen $1 million is a lot more money than people think it is.
You feel me? Like what?
I mean,
I thought
hold on, let me see. I saw a diagram one time, and it really like put it in perspective. So I mean, of course, it depends on like the denomination of bills.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that yeah.
Because like you get it in all hundreds, and it look like way less than what it actually
what it really is. Still a lot of bread though, bro.
I remember seeing like.
That's a lot of cheese though. Like,
let me see if I can find a way to share this. Hold on.
And after going through the math, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, fool. We just put together all that, and I don't even think I touched the half.
That's $1 million right there. So like, I'm sure that look like a combination of ones and fives. So that same stack, that's $1 billion. Oh, you still see it?
I wouldn't. Like, where is it? I can't even see it. Is it on your screen?
Yeah, it should be shared. You might have to click like view.
Let me see.
At the bottom, there should be like a little stream button.
Nah, I don't see it.
Okay.
It's only I got the.
I'm sure you'll watch it back, but
Yeah,
Basically,
nah.
a pallet, I'd say probably like 4 feet high is a million in like smaller
Mm-hmm.
denominations, and then 10 pallets of $1 million is a billion.
Mm-hmm.
So just like imagine like a pallet like of water, that's $1 million
A lot of
in
dough.
in smaller denominations, but the premise is there. But
Yeah, not
definitely,
for
I
sure.
mean, more money than most people see in their lifetimes.
Oh yeah. If I see a million in my lifetime, which that's the goal. I'm trying to see multiple millions, but you know what I'm saying. But I'll be alright. I'll be cool.
I mean, so just let's just do some quick math real quick. So say you work a job making 50,000 a year,
Uh-huh.
it take you exactly. I don't know why I had to do the math for that. 50,000 a year, you'd have to work 20 years to make $1 million. That's simple
That's a
math. Five
long
times two is 10.
yeah. But that's a long time though for and
So
it's not even a milli right there. It's a
right.
milli split up
So
into
think about it this way. You don't probably get a career job till you're 22, 23, maybe older than that.
mm-hmm.
So you don't start making that money until then. You 40 some before you hit a million. And that ain't like you got to like that's you're spending money. So it's not like you have $1 million. You just made $1 million
You
at
just
the age of 50.
all
Yeah.
together. That's all you done. Oh Lord. When you put it like that, bro, and it's not like the milli sitting right there in your face. It's just what you've accumulated through work.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, granted, I'm sure certain jobs, like I feel like if I like my career for example, current career, not lifetime career, but what I'm doing right now, it would be
Uh-huh.
easier for me in this position by myself to hit a million before you simply
Yeah.
because of the circumstances of this job where I get free food, I cannot eat, I don't have to go
Mm-hmm.
anywhere, don't have to spend money on gas, I don't have to take any vacations, I can literally just stay here and not spend any money. I don't pay rent and just stack
Mm-hmm.
every dollar I make, which is not realistic in all honesty. It makes it more this job makes it more possible. Like I
Yeah.
got $250 this semester, go to pod.
It's been
You
that
don't have to leave, don't have to buy groceries.
pot high key expensive though.
Yeah, but when you use bear bucks, it's
Yeah, nah,
no tax.
exactly. Nah,
But
it's valid.
not realistic way to live, but it'd be easier for me in this career to hit a million before you living a
Yeah,
normal life.
just because of the expenses and the lack thereof.
Right.
That makes sense.
Now,
Yeah, that
granted,
makes sense. Okay.
again, the realisticness of that is the kicker. I don't know anybody
Yeah,
that's not going to be able to not make or not spend a dollar. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And I
no
mean,
cap.
even for me, I didn't even take advantage of the pod shit. Like I go to the grocery, I don't eat calf.
But bro, I wish, I wish I had a meal swipe.
But I don't even
I don't
eat.
even
I
get
didn't even
swipe.
eat calf like that when I was a student.
Really?
Fuck no.
Really? I was in that bit. I ain't lie to you. I was in there. And I ain't gonna lie, they ain't, ooh, Lord.
I'd
Oh,
say
they
se-
be doing some bullshit
senior
in there.
year, I was almost exclusively out of like eating calf. Like I go to Chick-fil-A and pod, and that shit
All
barely
the
cover
day.
me. I was making food for me and Tate in the dorm room
Nah, yeah, that's valid.
or
That's
going out to
valid,
eat.
bro.
We did a lot of day drinking my senior year.
No, feel that shit.
Applebee's,
When
a lot of Applebee's.
Applebee's so slept on food. I might
No,
go there
I hit
Friday. I ain't gonna
Mateo
lie
with
to
some
you.
player shit at Applebee's, bro. We was out there one day, and these two guys sit down like, "Yo, is it cool if we sit with y'all?" We're like, "Yeah, yeah." So we're chopping it up. They're like, "Y'all together?" We're like, "Nah." Dude, look at me. You gay?
Ah,
I was like, "Nah, bro." I was like, "She gonna fall in love with me. She just don't know it yet."
Tot. She looking like, yeah, you heard me. I said that, and I mean it too.
Of
Now
course,
look
she
at it.
rolled her eyes. I was like, all right.
That's cool. That's cool.
And then
That's cool.
where she got me because I told her that she was gonna fall in love with me, and then
Hmm.
she told Sav, Q's girl,
Yeah.
she was like, bro, I'm in love with TJ. So of course they get back to me. So I'm like, okay. So I'm the first one that said it, but she definitely was in love with me first.
First, yeah, for sure. But to her, that verbal game
Yeah,
is what she.
yeah.
That's the game she was playing, bro.
But
It's cool
also,
though. But we
she complained, but at the end of the day, you still here. You ain't going nowhere. But I never asked her to be my girlfriend.
did you have to? I mean,
Yeah. So,
hello,
I mean, where I was at, look, if I treat you like my girlfriend, what's that make you?
like what would you want to like? But you know, hey, they want to hear, it, bro. It's all
Yeah.
about whatever. It's cool, but
So,
if
so
we do everything
I
in a
think it
relationship,
might have
then
been
you can.
the week before because I want to say like I was asking for like asking her parents if it was cool if I asked her. But
Hmm.
we was in Georgetown playing golf. And she hollered about some. You never asked me to be your girlfriend, and I was like, okay. Do you want to be my girlfriend? Knowing damn well I'm about to. I already got the ring. Like this would you be my girlfriend for a week?
Yeah. So in theory, we gonna be together for about a week before we
Yeah.
go ahead and get engaged. We fall in love fast around here.
But I knew, bro. Like where I was at in my life when me and Mateo started hanging out every day.
Hmm.
That wouldn't have thought.
Yeah.
But
When
like
you know, fool.
once I was hanging out with her every day and I want to hang out with nobody else, I was like, yeah, this shit. There ain't nobody else for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. It's all about finding that person,
No,
fool.
for
Like
sure. I mean,
it's
granted
all
too.
about
Like
it.
I
And
tell her all the time, I was like, I kind of feel bad for people because they don't got what we got.
yeah, and it's a lot of motherfuckers that wish they had from the outside looking in, like, oh, I know the old TJ, I know the old Mateo. Yeah, I wish, so we could have been. Yeah, it's a lot of jealousy and envy that come with this, bro. But I
And that's one
mean,
thing too. Like, uh, we don't really blast our shit on social media. I mean,
ain't got to.
Evie's face ain't been on social media one time.
Nope,
Granted,
nope.
that's a different
I've
set of
seen
reasons.
only way I've seen her is the pictures
Yeah.
that you've shown me. There
Granted,
ain't never been no
there's
Oscar
different
Instagram,
reasons.
whatever.
Like Mateo see a lot of weird shit at work, like people doing weird. Like a lot of people that's like on this registry, they
Mhm.
when they can't, cause like if you get on the registry, they put a tracker on your phone so they can see all the apps and stuff you visit, like what you're looking at.
Mhm. Mhm.
So a lot of people that are like into kids, they'll go on Facebook, look at pictures.
No.
Yeah.
No,
So
we ain't doing
that
that
was one of the things when we was expecting, we talked about, and I was like, yeah, we ain't doing that.
at all. You ain't even gotta say nothing to me about it. All you gotta do is just let me know. I'm with you. Yeah, that's some weird shit. I ain't
Like
gonna lie to you. Motherfuckers really be on that though.
like anything you see of Evie picture wise, back of her head, or like sticker over her face,
Hmm.
we ain't doing it.
Yeah, bro. I remember seeing a picture with you in like with you and the fam, bro,
Yeah,
and it's just you and Mateo, and then you got the. I said I know who that is.
yeah.
And
But
you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
it
nah.
just weird shit. Like trying to like. There's certain things we can protect her from, and there's certain things we can't. Like when it comes to traumas, like like you can't decide when somebody's gonna die. Like that's a trauma that
Mm-hmm.
you got to deal with. That's something
Yeah.
that's you have no control over. But like being able to have Evie be self aware and know how to communicate something's been done to her that's wrong. Like
Mm-hmm.
she'll understand how to do that before she stays the night at anybody's house.
Yeah. Ooh, damn, that shit you don't even think about, bro. But I well, not until you're actually
Yeah,
a parent. Yeah, that's valid, bro. That's a important, very very vital and important thing to make sure that that's like, hey, I don't care. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care if they say, oh, if you say something, I'm gonna hurt your dad or your mom. I don't care about none of that. You come tell me,
right.
and I'll do what I got to do as a parent. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that knowing like, oh, this not right. This shouldn't have been done or whatever the case may be. Now, Lord forbid anything like that ever happens. Lord forbid. But in the simple fact of just in case, having that that open line of communication, like, bro, it's very important, bro. But I hope don't nothing like that
Yeah,
ever
no,
ever happen,
absolutely.
bro.
And granted, one of my homeboys said something put in perspective for me at least, and he
Hmm.
knows me and Mateo very well. And he said, "Well, shit. If I guess if something happened like drastic, I'm going. I hope you find out first." And I was like, "The fuck?" He was like, "Yeah." He said, "At least you're gonna make it quick and easy." He said, "No, Mateo, she'll like drag it out and make it terrible." I was like, "That's fair."
He's out from the
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I was like,
That's
"That's
valid.
fair."
That's valid.
Nah, she really gangster, bro.
She different, bro. I
I'm
used to
not,
be scared of her for a
bro.
minute.
Yeah, I don't know how you so gangster, but you got a southern accent that nobody knows where it came from. Cause her family ain't got it like that, but she do. When I asked her to marry me, bro, it was like a different person. Like she was, what are y'all doing? I was like, who are you? I ain't never heard you talk like this. Who are you? She says, cause I'm nervous. Uh, I usually hide it real well, and I'm like, who the fuck? Where are you from?
He said, I ain't never seen this person. I've been around you for a minute.
But you know,
Nah, that's
and then
valid,
now she
bro.
got it because she worked with a whole bunch of country motherfuckers. So she come home talking like that, and I make fun of her for it.
Nah, it's not, bro. I'm telling you, but I used to be scared of Mateo, bro. And like, I ain't never spoke to her. I just thought, I was like, dude, oh my God, like, I know she don't fuck around, bro.
Now that's the rap shit she got. If she mean she staying on business too. If she say something, she mean it.
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure. I ain't, yeah. Which I already know you wouldn't be with no female that ain't, you know what I'm saying? Cause I know you stand on shit. So like I know like you gonna be with a female that does that just like you do, bro. So
Oh,
like
bro,
I feel like
bro, she's the female version of me, bro.
that's what I was gonna say. It's like an extension of yourself.
And people say, oh, like on some funny shit, like, TJ, you get beat by Mateo. I'm like, nope.
Nah,
I was like,
we got
ask her who
that.
run the house. She'll tell you. And they're like,
We
oh no,
got that
she
understanding.
just wants you to think that. I'm like, ask her. I'll walk away. I'll let you have a one-on-one conversation. She'll tell you.
Straight up, I don't have to be
Yeah,
man. Everybody know, bro. And it ain't even on no physical shit. It's just that respect, bro.
right. No, that's the key right
That
there.
respect.
That's the key word. Say it again, Ben.
It's just that respect,
Right?
bro. RESPECT, bro.
Yeah.
Like all it is.
Well, that's
Like
what
it's all it
this
is, bro. It ain't no.
people's like, oh, Mateo, if TJ ever did this, would you hit him? And she was like, no. She's like, one, I've already been hit by a man. I'm good on that. But also, she caught a glimpse of it. Not even like I wouldn't even say 10% power, but on that we was on that flirty phase, and
Yeah.
she gave me a little jab. I gave one back. Cool, haha, whatever. Keep it
Mhm.
pushing. She tells me years later, yeah, I'll never hit you. One, I have too much respect for you, but two, you hit me that one time and that shit actually hurt. So
You had a little bit of power, and I had a feeling. I know we was just playing around, so that wasn't even all you
yeah,
had in the tank. You know, so I hate to
yeah,
see you empty that
right.
motherfucker. So like, yeah, nah, yeah, we good, yeah,
But
we good.
granted,
I
too,
got
like I was talking to the kids going down to APCA, and dude told me a
you.
story about how this girl like beat the shit out of him, and he was like, I couldn't do nothing because she's a girl, and I was like, I disagree. I was
Yeah,
like, look,
bro.
I grew up in a household you don't put your hands on a woman, but my mom told me this came from my mom, not my dad.
Hmm.
Man, if a woman puts herself in a man's position, sometimes she deserves to be treated like a man. I'm not advocating for hitting women.
No,
My thing
like
is,
just coming up,
right.
man. It's all about
My
self
thing
defense.
is, if it's a girl that's way bigger than you and she rock your shit, I'm just tell her, hey, that's the only one you get. Second you
That's the
cock that,
only don't.
yeah, the second you cock that motherfucker back, get ready to catch one because it's coming.
Cause I'm gonna go ahead and meet you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah, yeah,
you ain't even gonna get the second
yeah.
one off. I'm gonna go ahead and
Right.
meet you at the I'm gonna meet you. And I'm gonna
But
go ahead and drop you to your knees.
he said like this girl like was chasing him and like kicked his foot out from under him. He was on the ground. She's like kicking his ribs, like bruised his ribs and shit. I'm like, oh, that
Oh hell
couldn't be
no.
me.
Hell
Yeah, it couldn't be me.
no. No, I don't want to head and sat her down. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to head and sat
Yeah.
her down. I'd have put one right here.
Granted, you make sure that everybody hear you warning her, like, yo,
Yeah, back the fuck up.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
back up. Don't fucking touch me again. Hey, y'all hear
Now,
me? Hey, I told her
also,
don't.
it depends on the woman. If it's some being like you're a bigger guy, bro. If some 5'2", 120-pound girl hitting on you, that's on some funny shit. Like, all right,
Hey,
bro, move, going
yeah.
somewhere.
It's like
Like you
it's
just
like you
move her out the
pushing me.
way. But if she a
Yeah,
big girl, especially me, bro, I don't weigh that much.
telling you.
And I ain't saying in
You
the face either. Like
nah, no, 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 no.
sometimes you just gotta
But
let
you gotta,
you gotta let them know.
it's like kicking the horse on the side.
Right.
Hey,
Yeah.
go ahead, hey.
Little body
But nah,
shot.
bro,
Little
nothing crazy,
yeah. Chastise
nothing
her ass.
crazy.
I was that used to be my shit, bro. I used to chastise the fuck out of people. Like, don't they shit sweet? I'll punch you hard as I can in the chest.
In the chest, you gonna feel everything I got. Body gonna
What
get the
Kevin Hart
vibrating.
was it Kevin Hart who said that he hit kids in the back so it give them time to run away before they start crying?
Oh my god.
He said you hit a kid in his back and he goes, ah, you got time to run away. He's an idiot.
Bro, hey, Carl, I'm trying to tell you, bro, these boys. But nah, but I'm with you on that, fool. Because at some point, it's to a certain extent, and enough is enough, bro. And people think it's funny but it's actually a real thing. Like domestic violence from the woman, like
Oh
the
yeah,
woman's, men getting beat on by
right.
women, bro. Like and everybody look like, you get your ass beat, yeah, da da da. But like you got to understand, bro. It's different, bro.
No, for sure. I mean, especially
Women
too.
can.
Like, I don't think I've had this argument with my friend. And she think that men are more emotionally than women, more emotional. It got to a point where we was in Vegas and we was asking people, like random people at the casino,
Hmm.
and she asking all women, and of course women are like, yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure.
They're definitely more. Yeah, yeah. You asking them for no
I
reason,
would
you know
say
what
when
they
it come to like regular decisions, men are more logically led. But
want.
like when it come to like intimacy and like being with somebody, you see it more now where it's like women want certain things out of men and men. So like the best way I heard it described was like as a woman you wouldn't want a guy who works at Burger King. Like you've had that man, you dumped him because he didn't have the money you wanted, right? A
Mm.
guy has no problem picking up somebody at Burger King because at least he knows she's dedicated to making her own way.
Whether that's 11.50 an hour or $25 an hour, it don't matter,
So a
bro.
lot
You
of
want a
people
woman that's
saying
got some type of
right,
hustle
a
muscle.
lot of people saying that men are the romantic gender because they willing to take somebody who's not in their tax bracket or whatever to build them up, opposed to finding somebody with who already got it. You know what I mean?
But a woman is it's like, oh my gosh, bro. It's like it's so frowned upon for a woman. It's like it's like having the black plague. If you're
Yeah.
a man and your woman is just like, she made more than him, so she must be no, bro.
God
At the end
forbid
of the
you're
day, I'm
short.
still dude, like what? Like it's crazy. You feel me?
Like
Like,
that
bro,
argument,
like
like,
look,
oh, you could say you want a tall guy, but I say I want a girl in shape, and it's a problem.
it's a like what would you're body shaming
Yeah.
because I'm not but
But you're
you body
judging something I
shaming too.
can't change.
Like what? I'm just lose weight every day.
Yeah.
Like you feel me? I'm
Granted,
lose weight every day.
I understand like certain circumstances you can't. Like I get that.
Yeah,
But also, are you saying that as a like as a like oh I can't fix it, but you can? You're just too lazy to fix it.
to do it exactly. Half, bro, 80 to 90% of the battle is want to.
Right. And
That 10 to
we
twenty
even talked
percent
about
is
like the bullying aspect of it, and I was like, I think bullying to an extent is good. Like if it's for the
shit
right
build character.
reasons. I say if you're going up to somebody on the street and telling them you're a fat ass, that like what you're not helping them. You're just making them feel bad about
No,
themselves. If it's coming from
exactly.
somebody that you like, you know them and you care about them, and you're telling them like, "Oh, you need to lose some weight. I care about you. You're gonna die early." That's different.
Hmm. Yep. Because it might not be
Also,
what you want to hear, but I
right,
bet you gonna look at your
right.
ass in there and lose some of that weight.
But it's the delivery. Like you can't go
Yeah.
to somebody that you don't know and tell them that, opposed to going to somebody that you do, saying like, "Look, I care about you. What can I do to help you?" That's way different than being like, "Hey, dude on the street, you're a fat piece of shit," and then just walking away. Like he ain't taking nothing from that.
Hell nah. Besides fucking a badass feeling like, damn, okay,
Right.
maybe I do. And that's motherfuckers like to say that feels be body shaming. That shit be funny as hell.
Phipps.
I'm like, bro, you not yeah, I'm like, he not body shaming. Like this mother he used to be big. He put in the work, he lost the weight.
But also
He
a
can
little
say that shit.
different, bro. Like I'm sure he ain't talking to just random motherfuckers. If you're on his team, he
Oh
wants the
no.
best out of you.
Exactly. He but man, this shit will come from this shit. He would say this shit to the motherfuckers who didn't work out, who was obese. He said this shit to the O lineman, the big boys on the team, or the fucking receiver that was a little bigger that shouldn't have been that's weighing fucking 220 when all reality he's supposed to be wearing damn 205, 210. That's what
Yeah.
he's saying that shit about.
Are
He wanna
you?
get
Yeah. Are you 380 pounds and sloppy when you could be like a chiseled 310 and be a dog?
I want the 310 as a dog.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say this shit to you. You're
Yeah.
gonna lose this shit regardless. Because you're gonna get because I'm gonna say it in front of the team, then the team gonna start saying it. So
Right.
you're just gonna be hearing it every
Now
time. And
everybody on your
football already
ass.
take up
Yeah.
so much
Yeah.
exactly. And football take up so much of your time. So you gonna hear this shit. Football probably like when we was playing ball, bro, and in season, football took up 75 to 80% of my time.
Yeah.
So that other 20% you ain't gotta hear it. But that 75, 80, well, yeah. Yo, I better get right. Simple.
Yeah, well, also too, I think that play into kind of we talked about it at Easy Brother a little bit, but like judgment, and a lot of the
Mm-hmm.
guys was talking about how they feel like judgment from a woman is more of a place of like things they can't fix or like just like disrespect. Like a woman's gonna judge them because they do certain things, opposed to like
Mm-hmm.
when a man judges them, it's more like a place from love, like they want you to be better.
Yeah, but like you said, delivery, like everything can be said with malicious intent,
Right.
but not all things are said with malicious intent. But that's all about tone and delivery and all of that shit, though.
One thing I've gotten better at is asking, like, what do you want to hear? Like, how
Mm-hmm.
do you want me to respond? You want me to respond by saying, you know, this is what you want, cool, or do you want me to tell you what, like, how I feel about it?
Yeah. One thing I've started doing is motherfuckers come up to me and be like, "Oh, I need to do. I want to lose weight. I want to do this, or I want to do that." I'm like, "Okay." Or I feel bad about this and da da da. So I'm like, "All right, you saying all this shit. What are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do?
Right.
Like, what are you gonna do? Don't just say like, because some motherfuckers be looking for a pity party. If you say, oh, I'm not looking for a pity party, but I want to lose weight. Okay, so put together a plan, a gym plan, or put together a plan that works for you, whether that's the portions you eat in or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Put that shit together and have the discipline to actually stick by it. And if it works, okay, then it works. Keep doing it. Have discipline to keep doing it. But if it doesn't work, have enough say so or enough realization, enough awareness to be like, okay, well, maybe this shit not working and try something else.
Right.
Don't just tell me, oh, I want to lose weight. I'm so fat. Okay. What you gonna do about it? How are you gonna? What's the steps you gonna take to lose this weight, to come up off this weight?
For
What are you
sure.
gonna do about it? You
For
gonna
sure.
stop eating this much? You gonna stop eating after? Like it's just like figure out a plan, bro. Don't just
Right.
say shit and just look for pity,
Right.
because that's not doing nothing
Well,
for
ultimately,
nobody. It's
too,
not, it's no
that
good.
you can apply that stuff to a lot. Like I feel like, especially religion. Like if you follow God and you're like, oh, like I'm struggling with this sin, I don't want to give it up. Well, you gotta live with that.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want to change
Mm-hmm.
it, you don't want to give it to God and go about getting rid of it the right way, then you got to live with that.
Then
You got to go to you
exactly,
got
and
to go
whatever
to
comes
heaven's
with it.
gates knowing that you sinned, you did this, it's wrong. You don't get to play both sides. You don't get to be like, well, you know, I'm a sinner, but like, yeah, we don't get to play that.
Nah,
Right. But I will say a lot of like that coming for advice shit plays into like children. So I'll share a little
mm-hmm.
seed, parenting seed for you that I learned. Um,
Yeah.
Replacing like your actual response of something from your kids with getting their response.
Mm-hmm.
So like say your kid draws a picture and they're like, "Oh, dad, look I drew this picture." Your response is going to dictate the way they go through life. So if your response
Yep.
is, "Oh, that's great. Like you're such a good artist." They're going to expect they're going to look for that affirmation in people. Like they want people to tell them they're
Mm-hmm.
doing good, opposed to you saying, "What do you think about it?" and then agreeing with what they
Exactly.
said. Then they find a sense of self-worth.
Yep.
And
That's
then
just like that's just like me having them. I remember it to this day, bro. This happened when I was a kid. I'm 23, gonna be 24, bro. This happened when I was a kid. I might have been 11, 12, maybe. Mm-hmm. But I thought I had the best game in the world. Like I thought I had a great game. I come back, I'm expecting my mom to be, oh yeah, son, you lit, da da da, yeah, good shit out there. You played fucking terrible. I was like, what? I was like, what? Because I had 3 tugs. Like, nah, I played terrible. She's like, you over there, you just not you just think you were robbed. Like you just think you all that in the bag of fucking chips. You think you the shit. She's like, you had 3 touchdowns. Great. But it was a time where y'all was changing, like y'all was coming off the field. He's like, you walking off the fucking field. You need to hustle off the field. I'm like, bro, you mad at me because I didn't run off the field? Like, what?
But you
She's
get it
like,
now.
yes.
You get it now.
Oh yeah, I get it 110%.
And
That's
see,
why, like,
again, it could be like the brain, like human brain's weird. If I ever did go back to school, it'd be for something like psychology, just because the brain's so
mm-hmm,
fascinating. But like
yeah,
everybody takes that differently. You know what I mean? So like
mm-hmm,
for us, it was like encouraging to like, okay, maybe I'm not doing enough. Which, granted,
mm-hmm,
that kind of creates it could create a sense of like perfectionism that you can never meet.
mm-hmm.
But at the same sense, it could also create somebody who never does anything because they don't want to fail. So, and it really just depends on the person. So, like,
The person, how they take
your
it, yeah.
ultimate goal as a parent is to do right by your kids and try to get them to a point where they can be self sufficient and do this, this, and this. But like, we never
Mm-hmm.
know, like certain things play a factor, and I have goals for what I want Evie to be, but ultimately, like, it's her life. She's got to live it herself.
For sure.
Her favorite word, shit, right now. So,
Oh Lord,
yeah, every time she falls, shit.
shit. I know the first time you heard her say, you was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
did she just say shit?
She
Yep,
said,
she did.
yes, yes, I did.
Mhm.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
But no, it's
Nah,
honestly, I know that's your plan to is like have a family, dude.
yeah.
I think you'll be a great dad. Honestly, I would say the biggest thing I could tell you as a father is embrace it, bro. Like that talking about like embracing the suck and being uncomfortable. Just embrace it.
Yeah.
Don't be the dad that's like I'm not changing diapers, yada yada. Change diapers with a smile, bro, because eventually they ain't gonna need you to do that, and you're gonna feel useless. So yeah, it
Hey,
sucks.
that's
You,
real.
you ask God for patience a lot of the time, but at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, right now I get an opportunity to be with Evie almost every day. That I'm not gonna have that opportunity here soon. So just soak it up
Yeah.
as much as you can.
Nah, for sure, bro. That's love, bro, for sure.
But no, I think I mean shit, we could talk for hours. I didn't even ask half the shit on this list of questions, so we
Yeah.
could definitely run it back sometime whenever you're free.
Cause we just
Whenever we got a
chopped it.
spot. Yeah, no dead ass. I mean,
Oh
it
yeah, now
was definitely free flowing
definitely
conversation.
gotta run it back.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
But you got anything you want to say before you hop off? Any message to somebody maybe going through a difficult time? Anything like that?
Nah, bro. Just one. First off, I appreciate you for having me, bro. Like you one of my like I appreciate talking to you because I always pull something from the conversation,
You
bro.
got
And
some good seeds today.
I just
The
yeah, bro.
crutch.
Like
The
I
crutch.
always pull something,
Yeah.
bro. I'm telling you, I never forget that in the why who hurt you, who healed you. Like I never like you know what I'm saying. I never forget that. Those are things I'm gonna carry with me, bro. So first off, appreciate you for having me, bro. And for anybody that's going through a tough time, man, like tough times don't last forever, bro. They might seem like you in the mud and you in the quicksand and you just keep sinking or whatever, but that's not the case, bro. You gonna get pulled out of it. You know what I'm saying? Just keep your faith, keep your trust, and just keep your head down and keep working, bro. Like that's all you can do at the end of the day. So keep perfecting that, bro.
Oh yeah. Well, Ben, I appreciate you, brother.
So
I'll hit you.
appreciate you for having me, fam.
I'll hit you when we get this posted on YouTube so you can send it to your people.
Yes, for sure, for sure. I appreciate you, fam. I'm gonna holler at you, gang.
All right, brother. Take it easy.
All right, you as well, bro.
Oh, hold up. All right, chat. I messed up. That's on me. All right. I appreciate y'all for being here for another episode of Talk About It with T Easy. I'm T Easy. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Be better, be easy. All right. I'll see y'all next time, baby.